The second season is upon us for the University of Michigan basketball team. Juwan Howard's crew has traveled to Chicago, Illinois to face the potential challenge and opportunity for this team to play their way into even more basketball as the dangerous month of March moves along. Michigan has the 8 seed wearing their practice uniforms, barreled over Illinois in the early game on Thursday back in 2017. The next morning, Michigan squared off against top-seeded Purdue and won an overtime thriller, which vaulted the team into the semifinals that year. The Wolverines came out swinging against a hard-nosed Minnesota team who earned 4th place in the regular season, and the Maize and Blue won their way to the title game for the first time since 2014. That next day, Sunday, March 12, 2017, the John Beilein-coached Wolverines knocked off the 2-seeded Wisconsin Badgers in the championship game, which mounted the first Big Ten tournament title since 1998 for the team. Just like in 2017, Michigan enters the Big Ten tournament with an 8 next to their name after an underwhelming regular season and a chance to play copycat on what was one of the most memorable championship runs in program history and right here at the Big Ten tournament. The first game of this tournament, Thursday, March 9th, and the opportunity to play their way to Sunday, March 12th, just like the Plane Crash Boys back in 2017. After the Wolverines cut down the nets in D.C., Coach Beilein wanted Michigan fans to remember those 5 days, those 4 games, and those Michigan Wolverines. Today, Michigan begins a journey at the United Center in downtown Chicago, Illinois, where the team begins this ride against 9-seeded Rutgers Scarlet Knights, who Michigan didn't see all that long ago. February 29th marked the only matchup of the season between the two conference opponents in a game that Michigan needed to have to boost their lacking tournament resume, and they escaped Piscataway with a 13-point, 58-45 win. Doug McDaniel led the way with a 16-point game where Michigan held their opponent to their lowest point total of the season. While both teams need wins for their tournament chances, especially for Michigan, who finished their regular season campaign on a 2-game road trip, taking both games to overtime in both Champaign and in Bloomington. Well, my name's Zach Linfield here on the WCBN Pregame. We'll now hand it over to Jared Greenspan and William Gregory for the coverage of first-half basketball on WCBN between Michigan and Rutgers following the national anthem.
Well, it is the best time of the year. High-stakes college basketball in March, and the stakes could not be higher for these two teams, Rutgers and Michigan, today. Both need a win to keep their respective NCAA tournament hopes alive. Hello, everyone, and welcome to WCBN Sports' coverage of Michigan men's basketball. A little postseason flair today here inside the United Center. The Big Ten tournament Day 2 kicks off. It's Day 1 for both these teams. Alongside William Gregory, I'm Jerry Greenspan. We have your call for the first half today. Must win is a phrase, William, that is often thrown around casually. It's often hyperbolic, but for Michigan and Rutgers today, with Selection Sunday looming and both their resumes still very precarious, this is a must win.
Well, it's surprising to think that Michigan still has a chance at the NCAA tournament with their recent stretch of form, but they do, even blowing those 2 games in overtime against Illinois and Indiana, and a few games before that they might not have been predicted to lose. They still have a chance in this Big Ten tournament to make it in as one of the last teams in the at-large bids in the NCAA tournament. It remains to be seen if they do that. If they win this game against Rutgers, they have a date with Purdue, who's a very tough out. And it's a long stretch for Michigan, but we've reached this point in the career of Juwan Howard in which the regular season hasn't mattered as much as what he's done in the postseason. And for Michigan fans, really what you're hoping for is just a ticket to the dance. You don't really care how you get there. It just matters that you're there and you have the opportunity to compete for the national title. It remains to be seen if Michigan's able to get there or if they end up in the NIT.
And Michigan will need 2 wins here in Chicago, perhaps 3, to earn that ticket. One of the 3 Quadrant 1 victories that the Wolverines are hanging their hat on came in Piscataway against Rutgers a couple of weeks ago. It was a 58-45 victory for the Wolverines. 3 players in double figures. Doug McDaniel led the way with 16, Kobe Buffkin with 14, and Hunter Dickinson with a double-double, 13 and 11. 58-45 was the final there. Michigan really stymied Rutgers on the road. William, what do you think Michigan has to do today in order to garner a similar result against a Rutgers team that has been sliding but is still formidable?
Well, they played great defense, and Rutgers shot poorly in that game, and that was a stretch of a run where Michigan was playing very good, inspired basketball, and it was the reason that they're in the position that they were entering that Illinois and Indiana game. But I think Cliff Amore having 10 and 10 in that game, that started a stretch that is current to this game, in which he's had 4 straight double-doubles. Started with a 10 and 10 performance against Michigan, went 5 of 10 from the field. That's a respectable clip, especially looking at the rest of his teammates. And I think that battle between Amore and Dickinson is going to be a real big factor in this game. I think that Hunter accumulates the stats, but there are questions about his actual paint presence when it comes down to it. The things that don't show up in the box sheet. Is he boxing out on a rebound for a teammate rather than just himself, or will it end up in Amore's hands? Is he a little bit soft on the interior defensively? We'll see if that happens today. I think that Dickinson's play has left a lot of Michigan fans wanting more. His game is so tantalizing at the college level. He should be even more dominant than he is. And we'll see if he can contain Amore down low. I really do think that's a big factor in this game.
And these last 2 games, though, Dickinson has been at his best, the All-American sort that many expected throughout the regular season. Dropped 31 points and 16 rebounds in the double overtime loss at Illinois, and followed that performance up with another marvelous outcome, 24 points and 14 boards at Indiana. Certainly Michigan needs more of that today from Dickinson if it wants to win. Another key will certainly be Michigan's young backcourt. Doug McDaniel and Kobe Buffkin really getting their first experience of postseason play, going up against some stalwarts in Caleb McConnell, the 2-time Big Ten Defender of the Year. Paul Mulcahy dabbles in a bit of a forward guard hybrid role, but these are some experienced guards for Rutgers and not so much for Michigan.
And Cam Spencer, the transfer from Loyola, Maryland, led the Scarlet Knights in scoring in that game against the Wolverines in February. I think he's a key factor in this game, shooting well from 3 of recently. I think Paul Mulcahy, like you mentioned, Jared, is going to be a pest in this game. That's the role he likes to play. That's the role that he thrives in. And that's the role that Rutgers wants him to be in, one of the top defenses in the country, especially in the early half of the year, shutting down opposing teams. And that's going to be trouble for Michigan with their young guards. Just like you mentioned, Jared, the tournament is – any postseason tournament kind of comes down to guard play. And Michigan's got a freshman and a sophomore. And while Buffkin has absolutely come on as of recent, and McDaniel, I think, has steadily improved as the season has gone on, it's very tough to enter a matchup with 3 really tough guards like that Rutgers has.
Both teams taking the floor inside the United Center right now. Again, you're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan men's basketball. For the opening game for these 2 teams in the Big Ten tournament, it's the 3rd game overall. 2 contests last night. Ohio State likely knocked Wisconsin off the bubble, and then Minnesota withstood Nebraska. Casey Tominaga's shot did not fall at the horn. I'm Jared Greenspan alongside William Gregory. The clock here reads 4 minutes and 2 seconds until tip inside the United Center, Michigan and Rutgers. There's some odd symmetry surrounding this game as well. If you remember back in the 2020 Big Ten tournament, which never really got off the ground due to the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, these 2 teams were on the floor ready to play in the 8-9 game, and now they're back 3 years later to do it again. The stakes are seismic. Both teams ready to go. They met once in the regular season, a 58-45 victory for the Wolverines. Michigan owns the career series between these 2 programs. Rutgers just 1-12 all-time against Michigan, with their lone win coming last January.
And Rutgers was, I might be mistaken, but I think this was I think Michigan was the last Big Ten team to fall to Rutgers in basketball. I think so. And they had a similar streak in football, too. It's just that Rutgers is so new in the conference. But really, at this point, not. It's been a while. But I think a lot of Big Ten fans still view Rutgers as that little guy in this tournament, even though they're the 9 seed ahead of a team like Ohio State, who's a blue blood power in this conference.
And Rutgers was also playing so well earlier in the year. On February 4th, Mawat Mag, the Scarlet Knights starting forward, tore his ACL in a game at the Garden against Michigan State. Since then, the Scarlet Knights have dropped 6 of their last 8 games, barely salvaging 2 wins on the road against Wisconsin and Penn State. And you have to figure there's a direct correlation there. A Rutgers team that is more so a sum of the collection of its parts than the individual parts. Mag's injury really hurt them, and it sent them in this downward spiral. They're still trying to recover.
And you lose a forward like that, they had to downsize their lineup. It's going to be – Mulcahy is considered a guard forward, but it's really a 4-guard lineup with Amori in at center. And Amori's not a big center. He's an undersized guy. And with the 2 big lineups Michigan likes to roll out as they have at this point in the season, I think it'll be interesting to see, can Rutgers take advantage of that and beat them off the dribble? Or is Michigan going to be able to punish Rutgers inside, which we've seen from Dickinson over the past few games? Will Cheddar, we'll see if he starts today. He needs to pick his game up. He has been slacking. But Terrace Reed off the bench has been a spark for Michigan offensively and defensively.
We'll run you through those starting lineups real quick. For Michigan, it's your usual starting 5. Doug McDaniel and Kobe Buffkin in the backcourt. That young backcourt playing very well down the stretch. The key for them will be taking care of the ball today against a Rutgers defense that is hounding, ranked 4th in KenPom adjusted defensive efficiency. Jet Howard, in his 3rd game back from that ankle injury, starts at the 3. And Will Cheddar, as you mentioned, William, draws his 7th straight start at the 4. He started that first game in Madison when Terrence Williams was out with a knee contusion. And then Hunter Dickinson, the big man in the middle, rounding out the starting 5 at the 5. For Rutgers, it's Derek Simpson, the lightning-quick freshman guard, starting in the backcourt alongside Paul Mulcahy, the seasoned vet. Cam Spencer, the transfer from Loyola, Maryland, and marksman three-point shooter, starts at the 3. Caleb McConnell, who just yesterday won his 2nd straight Defensive Player of the Year award in the Big Ten. He's been battling a back injury, but he's in there at the 4. And then Cliff Amori, who loves to dunk the basketball, the talented center at the 5. Rutgers, Michigan, the countdown clock reached 17 seconds. We are almost ready to go inside the United Center. 2 teams desperate for a win today to keep their NCAA tournament hopes alive. Steve Peichel's crew against Juwan Howard's men. This should be a very good one today to kick off what should be a fabulous slate of Big Ten basketball on this Thursday.
Very excited. My first time here at the United Center in Chicago. It's been a wonderful environment. It's a great stadium. The house that Michael Jordan built has been very kind to us, and we hope we get to stay around. It starts with this game here against Rutgers.
Both teams being introduced right now to the crowd. It's a light crowd, I guess would put it kindly, here inside the United Center, but that is to be expected. I'm sure it'll fill up as the day moves along. It's just 11:03 Central Time, local time, here in Chicago. A good amount of Michigan fans, the Wolverines, of course, with a large alumni base here in Chicago, and as well, it's a quick, a little under 4-hour drive from Ann Arbor. Meanwhile, Rutgers does not have the fortunes of being that close. Michigan Rutgers getting introduced to the crowd right now. Michigan wearing the all-white uniforms with the blue numbers and the blue lettering. Rutgers going the all-scarlet red with the white numbers and the white lettering. Starting lineups one more time. It's McDaniel, Buffkin, Jet Howard, Cheddar, and Dickinson. The 5 for Juwan Howard's team. Derek Simpson, Paul Mulcahy, Cam Spencer, Caleb McConnell, and Cliff Amori for a reeling Rutgers team.
And like you said, Jared, they've been a reeling team. They've lost to Northwestern and Minnesota in their last 2 games. Minnesota, obviously, the number 14 seed in this Big Ten tournament. Although they did win yesterday against Nebraska, it's not a great loss for a team that is also on the bubble as Michigan is. Northwestern is a good team, but Rutgers definitely is coming into this game slumping, but you can't say Michigan isn't either with their back-to-back overtime losses.
Michigan really needed one win in those 2 games to put itself in a prime position to make the field of 68 heading into Chicago. It, of course, lost both in excruciating fashion. Its backs are against the wall. Something interesting that Juwan Howard said Tuesday, speaking with the media, was that he hasn't even talked about the prospects of an NCAA tournament bid with its team. They are so locked in and focused at one game at a time, and that mission takes central focus now with just seconds to go until tip. Michigan and Rutgers, the 9-8 game, kicking off a slate of basketball today in the Big Ten here inside the United Center. We are moments away from tip-off between the Wolverines and Scarlet Knights. Both teams in their huddles. The crowd here awaiting tip. Michigan and Rutgers. Wolverines enter the game at 17-14, 11-9 in the Big Ten. KenPom ranking of 39 and a net ranking of 54. Rutgers a shade behind them in terms of record, or ahead of them in terms of record at 18-13, but in conference record just 10-10. The metrics agree on them though, the net ranking at 43 and KenPom at 43. The Scarlet Knights are on the floor. Michigan about to join them. Rutgers and Wolverines, a must-win game between 2 desperate teams to open Thursday's slate of action here in the Big Ten. And for the second straight game, it'll be Will Cheddar to jump things off. Hunter Dickinson had been doing the jump all year, but Cheddar at Bloomington on Sunday did the jump against Grace Thompson, and now he'll jump it off against Cliff Omori. Cheddar at 6'8", Omori a springy 6'11". Just waiting the official TV signal now. Omori and Cheddar in the center circle. Michigan in the all-whites, Rutgers rocking the all-reds. And we are just about ready to go. Cheddar and Omori, Michigan Rutgers, and Rutgers wins it, but it goes right to Bufkin, and Michigan will have the ball first. Going left to right, Doug McDaniel handles on the right wing. He's played by his freshman counterpart, Simpson. Gives way for Bufkin at the point. Lobs underneath, Dickinson catches at the left block. Here's the matchup of the day. Dickinson and Omori across the lane, right-handed hook, off the heel and in. Hunter Dickinson drops it home, and Michigan's up 2-0.
I like that he was able to reset his post position after the pass was a little bit too far outside. I think we've seen Dickinson settle for too far out shot from the post recently.
Spencer on the left wing, lobs for Omori in the short corner. He'll bang with Dickinson, lowers the left shoulder, nearly drags the pivot foot, the right-handed hook, scrapes iron, and Dickinson clears. Doug McDaniel quickly the other way, left to right down the near side. 45 seconds gone in, Michigan up 2-0. Jed Howard receives the handoff at the point, now moves right. Kicks it left wing for Cheddar with McConnell, back to Howard up top. Howard jab steps, moves left. McConnell switches onto him. Skip feed into the near side corner for Bufkin. Jab steps, works the baseline. Wraparound feed in the corner. Cheddar tees up a 3. It's off to the left. Long rebound, McConnell. Caleb McConnell right to left. Kick right side, Mulcahy. Swing for Simpson in the corner. Back to Mulcahy. Rutgers gets into its set. Just 174th in terms of adjusted offensive efficiency. How will the Scarlet Knights score? And a whistle underneath. And it's going to be on Will Cheddar, I think. A foul.
Don't want to pick an off-ball foul in that scenario. Like you said, Jared, this is not an offense, not a team that thrives with their offense.
The inbound comes in left side. Cam Spencer, he's the one guy who could knock him down, but he comes up short on the 3, and Dickinson with his second rebound. McDaniel leaves it for Bufkin, left to right down the far side. Up top, picks up his dribble, finds Dickinson underneath with Mulcahy. Layup, got it to go for Hunter Dickinson. 4 early points for the big man. 93 seconds into this game.
We mentioned it in the open. I was waiting to see if Dickinson would be able to dominate inside. He's already got 4 quick points in the first 90 seconds.
A bit of a full court press here for Michigan as Mulcahy works his way across down the far side, tracked by Bufkin. Swing it left side, Simpson, now for Spencer on the wing. Gives for Omori, who flashes beyond the arc up top. Dribble handoff, Mulcahy. Mulcahy, kick back left wing, Spencer, played by Bufkin. 10 to shoot. Underneath for Omori with Dickinson. He'll go to work. Leans in with the right shoulder. Pounds his way inside. Sent back by Dickinson. Jet Howard with the ball in the open floor down the left side. And Rutgers gets back. Dickinson matched up with Mulcahy on the left block. He's doubled. Finds Cheddar underneath, and it goes through his hands. So Will Cheddar has missed a three, committed a foul, and now had a would-be layup go through his hands through the first 2 minutes plus.
And the once darling kind of playing that backup quarterback role. The backup quarterback's always in more demand than the starter. Cheddar finally getting a lot of minutes, has not been playing that well.
17:37 to play, just getting going here. 4-0 Michigan on top of Rutgers. McConnell on the left wing, snakes around an Omori screen, moves right. Step back jumper, 16-footer, rims out. Omori had the rebound and got fouled underneath. Cheddar and Buffkin were both in there. Let's see who it's on. 17:28 to play, and it'll be on Buffkin, who caught Omori with the left elbow. Inbound from Mulcahy underneath the Rutgers basket with 20 to shoot. Hits Spencer in the short corner, weaves on McDaniel. Now draws Buffkin on a switch as he takes him back out beyond the arc on the left side. Pass up top for Simpson. He'll motion out of play. Has Howard on him, wants a screen, moves right. Draws McDaniel, the freshman, on a switch. Curls left, gets inside. The runner off the glass won't go. Cheddar clears. Cross-court Buffkin. Around the Dickinson screen, kick right wing. Jet Howard lines up a three. Nylon for Jet Howard, and it's 7-0 Michigan. 3 minutes gone by, all Wolverines. The Scarlet Knights can't buy anything. McConnell up top, drives left at the foul line, shut off with Cheddar. Kick back left wing, Simpson. Into the corner, Mulcahy, back out Simpson. Rutgers trying to crack the scoreboard, 3 minutes and 15 seconds in. Simpson at the point with Howard. Dribbling between his legs, 8 to shoot. Given the right wing, McConnell. Around the Omori screen, moves left. Kicks it back right wing. Cam Spencer, clean look at a three. Won't fall, and Buffkin the board. McDaniel up the left wing. It's been all Wolverines early here at the United Center. Buffkin with Spencer. Gets a screen from Dickinson, moves right. He's doubled. Finds looking for Dickinson underneath. McConnell, a steal. McConnell right to left into the forecourt. Drive and kick. Simpson lines up a left wing three. Rolls off the rim. Mulcahy crashing the glass. Rips it away from McDaniel and lays it in.
Rutgers finally gets on the scoreboard there, and that is the kind of play that has made them dangerous in the Big Ten this season. Defended the pick and roll of Michigan excellently, made it all the way to the other end for a layup.
McConnell, 2.5 steals per game, gets his first one there. Dickinson on the right wing with 14 to shoot. Finds Buffkin cutting underneath. Reverse layup. He stakes it in. Beautiful off-ball movement by Buffkin and the find from the big man. 9-2 Michigan, 15:40 to play in the first. Next whistle will take us to the under 16 timeout. Spencer feeds McConnell at the point. With Dickinson on a switch, McConnell at the foul line, cuts to his right, now gives way out on the right wing for Simpson, finds Omori working with Cheddar on a mismatch. Omori backs him down, draws two, kick out right wing, Simpson for three, rolls off, Mulcahy another board. Beat Buffkin to the glass. Takes it beyond the arc on the right wing and he'll reset with 14 to shoot. Around the Omori screen, drives left, lowers the shoulder, knocks over Buffkin, offensive foul.
I will say, as we've reached the under 16 timeout here, that offensive rebound by Omori, that will be something to watch, as well as Will Cheddar is guarding Omori right now. Hunter Dickinson is out wide against Caleb McConnell. I think Dickinson can handle Omori on the glass. I don't know about defensively. We'll see if Cheddar can rebound effectively against Omori. So far, Rutgers has gotten 2 offensive rebounds by way of boxing out Cheddar. So we'll see as the game progresses whether or not Dickinson needs to switch back onto Omori on defense.
9-2 Michigan, your score at the under 16 timeout, 15:12 to play in the first. A few noteworthy developments in the early going. One, Michigan fed Hunter Dickinson early in that matchup against Omori. He scored on the Wolverines' two of their first 3 trips down the floor. He looks good with 4 early points. The other thing, the Wolverines have allowed Cam Spencer 2 open looks from 3. He shoots it at a 43% clip from beyond the arc. He's really their only trustworthy 3-point shooter. Michigan got lucky in that Spencer missed both looks. They have to shore up their 3-point defense, keying in on him specifically if they want to win this ball game.
Absolutely, and those rotations for Michigan have been an issue all season, along with just general defense on the wings. I think the interior defense, when you're not playing an absolutely dominant offensive force like a Trace Jackson Davis, has been okay with Dickinson, and when Reed gets in there, Cheddar has kind of been sidestepped. And then there are the issues with Jet Howard defensively as well. He hasn't been exactly a lockdown defender outside. I think Doug has played well as a freshman, and Kobe is an all-around player. But Michigan definitely does need to shore up their rotations when covering a shooter like Spencer, who, like you said, Jared, is one of the only dangerous shooters on the Scarlet Knights. They aren't a team known for their offense, and you have to be able to contain the one guy who can beat you.
The other thing, Michigan coming out hot, 4 of 5 from the field, all 4 baskets via the assist. Rutgers may have fallen off the cliff, but their defense is still very strong. Yes, it got worse since Mag's injury, but this is Rutgers basketball. They pride themselves on their defense, even the game in Piscataway. Michigan won. It only scored 58 points. It really had to claw its way there, but this is a hot start. 9 points in the first 5 minutes.
Well, that back cut pass from Dickinson to Buffkin was very nice. I think it was kind of a reversal of that last pick and roll that ended up getting picked off. Dickinson stayed up top, had the ball. Buffkin cut from the corner. Nice pass, layup, easy reverse from Buffkin. And that's the type of coaching we need to see from Juwan Howard entering the postseason. You have one of your sets get countered, you come back with a counter. That's what we saw. Michigan up 9-2, a very fast start.
And I think a fast start was especially important for Michigan in this must-win game. They lost 2 straight heartbreakers to Illinois and Indiana. You never know how a young team is going to respond. A tired team as well. Buffkin, Dickinson, Howard, and McDaniel all playing over 40 minutes in both of those games. Out of this other side of the under-16 timeout, 15:05 to play and rolling. Wolverines up 9-2 over Rutgers in the early going. Doug McDaniel has it at the wing. Rutgers in his own. Kick for Buffkin on the left side into the corner. Jet Howard's wide open, and he missed a 3. Will Cheddar, a weak side board. Kicks it out right wing McDaniel. Michigan has a new possession. Buffkin drives left on Simpson, gets inside. Wrap around right wing McDaniel. He'll key up a 3. That's off the heel, and the rebound taken in by Omori. 2 good looks there for Michigan.
Definitely. Michigan's getting open. They just need to hit those shots. Howard's a good shooter. Doug, not necessarily.
Let's see if Rutgers can find its offense on the other side of the timeout. Omori up top, dribble handoff with McConnell. Push it left side, Simpson. He's 0 for 3 on the day. Drives baseline on Howard, wraps around right wing Mulcahy, a good look, and he cans a 3. Paul Mulcahy, all 5 points for Rutgers, and it's 9-5.
He is their captain, Mulcahy, able to step into that shot. Known more, I think, as a defender, but he's offensively capable for Rutgers.
Michigan running a weave action on the perimeter. McDaniel feeds Dickinson on the right wing, 18 feet away from the basket with Omori as he rumbles toward the left elbow and hands off Jet Howard. Kick back left side, Cheddar. He'll try his second 3. That one's off the heel. Weak sideboard, pops back out to Mulcahy. Zigzags right to left down the far side. Giving the corner, Spencer drives baseline on Cheddar. Kick it left wing, McConnell. He's wide open for 3. That's off the heel. Buffkin the board. McConnell just a 22% three-point shooter. Buffkin the other way, giving the left wing for McDaniel. Lobs for Dickinson in the short corner with Omori. He'll spot up for the 2, and that's off the heel. Cam Spencer rips the board away from Cheddar. Spencer down the middle with Cheddar. Eyes a mismatch on the wing. Cuts, turns the corner, fumbles as he's stuck on the baseline. Now peels back beyond the arc. Nice defense by Cheddar. McConnell swing it for Mulcahy. He'll reset at the logo with 12 to shoot. Played by Buffkin. Mulcahy gets a high screen from Omori, moves left. Draws a switch, kick up top. Omori straight on 3, way off to the left. He's not a threat from out there, and Buffkin clears. 13 to play, 9-5 Wolverines. Buffkin turns the corner, baseline with the left, he lays it in. Nice play by Kobe Buffkin to stretch the lead to 6.
And Michigan had been giving Rutgers gifts by settling for outside shots before that inside shot by Buffkin.
And then Will Cheddar commits a foul in the lane. McConnell was driving downhill, and Cheddar will be whistled for his second foul. 2 substitutions upcoming for Michigan. Terrence Williams and Joey Baker checking into the game for Buffkin and Cheddar. Williams and Baker are 2 interesting players here. They each effectively got benched in the second half in Bloomington. Did not play. Williams played a few seconds in overtime, but that was it. So we'll see how both of them respond today. Oscar Palmquist also into the game for Rutgers as Mulcahy, who has all 5 Scarlet Knight points, takes a seat. McConnell inbound, searching. Dickinson knocks it away, and McDaniel trying to save it in the corner. It goes right to Omori. Kick it left wing, Simpson at the elbow. Pull-up jumper, pure. Swing of events there goes in Rutgers' favor, 11-7.
Luck hasn't been on the Wolverines side all season long.
McDaniel up top, 12:27 to play. Michigan up by 4, looking good in the early going. Jet Howard on the left wing around the Dickinson screen, hedged by Omori, flips it right wing Baker, right back into the arms of Howard. Howard kicks it right side Dickinson. He'll tee up an open 3. That's off the heel. Rebound knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Simpson. Credit Baker flying in there for the board. Got it to go off Simpson's leg. But Michigan, after starting 4 of 5 from the field, has now gone 1 of 6, missing a lot of open 3-pointers as well.
They were getting their whatever they wanted inside, and they've gone away from that. And this lineup is a lineup that goes away from that. Smaller wing players and Terrence Williams in at the 4.
Omori takes a seat. Wolfork into the game for Rutgers. He's trying to guard Dickinson, left-handed hook. He drops it in right over Antoine Wolfork, 6'9", 250-pound freshman forward from Cleveland who was recruited to play football before signing on to play basketball at Rutgers.
And if Hunter wants that shot, he can get it all day.
Palmquist on the left wing. Rutgers down 13-7. Next whistle will take us to the under 12. Hands off for Andre Hyatt on the wing with Joey Baker around the screen. Kicks back into the corner for Palmquist. Palmquist probes, now peels back, gives up top for McConnell. McConnell on the crossover, 2 to shoot. High post J contested over Williams, in and out. Hyatt had the rebound, lost it. Baker saves it right to Howard. Jet Howard left to right down the far side. Dickinson there for a screen, directing him. Howard uses it and draws the switch on the freshman center. Finds Dickinson in the short corner with Palmquist. Dickinson lowers the right shoulder. Cross-court feed looking for McDaniel. The pass was high. McDaniel tips it to himself. Kicks it left wing Howard. 6 to shoot. Launches a 3 off the heel. McConnell the rebound in stride. Right to left in a hurry down the far side. On the crossover. Shut off, and now Rutgers goes to work. Simpson at the point as Steve Peichel gets near half court to call it a play. Rutgers down 13-7. 10:47 to go. Simpson around the screen, moves left, high steps his way, 18 feet from the basket, jumper off the heel, McDaniel with the board, and then he's knocked to the ground, fouled by Rutgers, and that will finally take us to the under 12 timeout. 13-7 Wolverines with 10:40 to play in the first.
Very fast-moving game so far, and as much as we talked about Michigan settling, I think Rutgers is settling for those outside jumpers. It's not necessarily their game. McConnell's taking a 3, he's taking a long jumper with the shot clock winding down. You saw that jumper on that last possession for the Scarlet Knights. I think both of these teams can do a good job getting inside. They just haven't chosen to. Michigan has been near perfect on their points in the paint, on the shots and the points in the paint. But, and this has been my knock with Hunter all season, he tries to get the entry pass to the post too far out. He doesn't get deep enough. And when he does, he is deadly with that face-up hook. But when he tries to take a face-up jumper, that's not the shot you really want when he's such a dominant paint presence. I'd like to see Michigan get the ball inside more, Dickinson to establish his presence better, especially against the backup bigs that Rutgers has in the game right now. When Omori's in there, it's understandable he's a good defender. I also would like to see, I think, we've seen Jet Howard take some contested shots. That is his game at some points, but not today. I don't think in a crucial must-win game, you take the best shots available, you move it around the horn, you take the entire shot clock. Against a team like Rutgers, that's not that big of a problem. You're not battling for possessions offensively, you're battling for defensive stops.
We saw Michigan go cold from beyond the arc. Jet Howard hit an early 3 for the Wolverines, but Michigan has missed 6 attempts. Will Cheddar has missed a pair, Howard has missed 2 more, and Hunter Dickinson has missed his lone try from beyond the arc as well. So the Wolverines have gone cold from the field, but it really hasn't mattered because Rutgers just shooting 3 of 15 from the field, 1 of 7 beyond the arc. We know that the Scarlet Knights don't have a great offense. Michigan's defense has stepped it up as late. It's just sort of the perfect storm so far this afternoon. The Scarlet Knights really have nowhere to go on offense. 2 points for Derek Simpson, the freshman, who's 1 of 5 from the field, and Paul Mulcahy has the other 5 points for the Scarlet Knights, both off offensive rebounds. That has helped generate Rutgers a few extra chances, which it'll need with its offense in such a low.
Well, and it is surprising that Cheddar got pulled out of the game so soon for Terrence Williams II. We've seen Williams kind of be in the doghouse recently, and we'll see how much he plays in the second half. This might just be a first-half test run, and they'll play the hot hand at the 4. But that power forward position all season has kind of been a bugaboo for the Wolverines. You start off with Terrence Williams, move to kind of a blend between Cheddar, Reed, and Williams. I think Reed's the better player, but right now he's better suited off the bench rather than being paired with Dickinson.
And you mentioned Reed. He really got the bulk of those second half minutes and overtime minutes in Indiana. We haven't seen him so far today. Williams, Baker, each off the bench first. Jace Howard now checking into the game too, and right on cue, Terrace Reed into the game, so that means Dickinson gets his first rest.
Yeah, and Reed will be playing center. It is interesting to see Jace Howard out there. It's interesting that Juwan is putting this lineup on the floor in what is essentially an elimination game for Michigan.
And also Cliff Omori back into the game, so it's backup center for Michigan versus starting center for Rutgers. Buffkin, Williams, Baker, Jace Howard, and Reed, your 5 for Michigan. Let's see where the offense comes from. Buffkin catches the dribble, handoff, curls left into the lane. Cross-court feed, looking for Reed, knocked away into the arms of Simpson. Quickly ahead for Andre Hyatt, blocked but fouled by Joey Baker.
We'll check the replay, but to me that looked clean when he blocked the shot. I think that maybe he got him with the body. He didn't get him with his hands.
I think Baker, with his left hand, got the ball, but the rest of his left arm might have clipped Hyatt going up. And so it'll be 2 free throws for Andre Hyatt. The junior forward, who spent a few years at LSU, shoots it at a 69% clip, and he knocks down the first.
And the few Michigan fans that have filed in so far did not like that call, the foul on Baker, but Hyatt was clearly moved off his spot as he went to the ground.
One more for Hyatt, and he knocks it down. Rutgers within 4, 13-9. It's Simpson, Palmquist, Hyatt, Mulcahy, and Omori, the 5 for Rutgers, with Kobe Buffkin and 4 bench players out for a Michigan team that doesn't really go too deep reserve-wise. Baker catches on the left wing. Michigan in a bit of a scoring rut. Kobe Buffkin at the point. Gets a high screen from Reed, slips it, moves right, gets into the lane with the left, contorts his body, a wild shot off glass, no good, and Omori fends off Reed for the board. Simpson quickly the other way, right down the middle, moves right. Simpson 18-footer over Reed, in and out. Omori the board, goes back up and lays it in.
And that's the problem when Dickinson is out. Omori is a menace on the boards.
And on cue, Dickinson and Doug McDaniel are waiting to check in at the scorer's table. Kobe Buffkin on the right side. Kicks it back right wing, Terrence Williams. Williams drives into the lane, across the lane, left-handed runner won't go. Palmquist the board, and then he's fouled to the ground by Terrace Reed. So the onset of those 5 being out there, Buffkin and 4 reserves, we questioned how Michigan was going to score. The answer, they didn't.
And they haven't defended either. 4 points for Rutgers on that run with those bench players in the game, and they come right back out.
So Reed, who has maintained that he's more comfortable playing alongside Dickinson than he is by himself at this point in his career, takes his seat after a poor stint. Joey Baker on the bench as well. So it's McDaniel, Buffkin, Williams, Jace Howard, and Dickinson. The 5 on the floor for Michigan, up 13-11 with 9:25 to play in the first. Mulcahy gives for Palmquist, who hands off Spencer at the point, played by McDaniel, with 14 to shoot, still at the logo. Flips right wing Mulcahy. Fakes the pass underneath, working with Buffkin. Looking to feed Omori. Finally lobs it to him in the short corner with 5 to shoot. Omori facing Dickinson. Now will lean in with the right shoulder. 2 bigs going after each other. The fadeaway, it's an air ball. And Jace Howard with the board, but first a shot clock violation. Oscar Palmquist tried to sell a foul there on Howard.
It looked like, to a lot of Michigan fans, that that's what the whistle was, but it's just a shot clock violation. The Wolverines will have the basketball.
So Michigan is currently in a 3-minute scoring drought, 13-11. The score, Wolverines up with 9:03 to play. It won't get any easier as Caleb McConnell, the 2-time reigning Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, checks into the game for Rutgers as Hyatt takes a seat. McDaniel on the left wing snakes around a Howard screen moving right, drops it into the short corner for Dickinson with Omori, leans in with the left shoulder. It's 1-on-1, spins to his right, and Omori got a piece of it to knock it out of bounds.
And again, Dickinson caught that ball a bit too far out of the paint, had to work his way back in by the time he got to the block. It was an easy play for Omori to get that ball outside.
McDaniel inbounds right side. Williams catches on the wing, feeds Buffkin, flashing to the elbow, got caught in the air. Back out Williams underneath Dickinson, left-handed hook, got it, and a foul. That time, Hunter Dickinson caught the ball in perfect position, knew exactly what he wanted to do, and he'll have a chance for a 3-point play.
And compared to the last play, where he caught the ball was where he ended up after the catch. Gets the end one inside. Dickinson off to a very hot start.
So the 73% free throw shooter looking to cap off a 3-point play. Jace Howard takes a seat. Jet Howard enters. Oscar Palmquist a seat for Rutgers. Derek Simpson back into the game. One free throw upcoming for Dickinson with 8:43 to play. Michigan up 15-11 in what has been a slog of a basketball game. And the free throw is pure, so the Wolverines have a 5-point lead. Michigan has led by as many as 7. Rutgers yet to lead. Mulcahy into the short corner on the left side. Omori finds McConnell carving underneath. The floater short, gets his own miss, goes back up, and the layup won't fall, but he's fouled by Dickinson, who is incredulous over the call.
It didn't look like a very strong call. We'll see the replay. And he wasn't exactly straight up. His elbow kind of got McConnell on the way up. It wasn't an aggressive foul, but I think the right call.
So 2 free throws for Caleb McConnell, who shoots it at a 70% clip. McConnell has battled a back injury for much of the past 3 weeks as he rims out on the first free throw. When Rutgers hosted Michigan at the end of February, McConnell was just coming back from the absence. Came off the bench to play a couple of minutes, but he hasn't really been able to practice. He's been in and out of practice, just fighting through the back injury as he nears the end of his college career. That one's short, so McConnell misses a pair. Buffkin clears, looking to break the press, and he does so down the near side as he finds Dickinson at the top of the key, rifles it back to Buffkin, now into the hands of McDaniel at the logo. 16-11, Michigan up top with 8:12 to play in the first. McDaniel snakes right, finds Dickinson in the short corner with Omori. Dickinson leans in with the left shoulder. He's doubled, fights his way through it, left-handed hook, left it short, and Omori with his 4th rebound. Mulcahy right to left down the near side with Buffkin. Probes, picks up his dribble, kicks to the point for McConnell. Swing right side Spencer, lobs for Omori. Back in the post they go. Omori banging inside, left-handed hook, in and out, and Dickinson clears. So neither center has the touch at the moment as McDaniel drops underneath looking for Williams. Mulcahy fronts it, he's got the steal. Running right to left, 1 man to beat, goes at Dickinson, sent back by Dickinson. And now McDaniel comes the other way. Juwan Howard motioning for the Wolverines to push. Williams in the short corner on the left side. He'll try a deep 2, and he knocks it down. Terrence Williams in the face of Cliff Omori to stretch the lead to 7. And Rutgers is going to call a timeout with 7:19 to play in the first. Michigan coming out of its offensive drought, up 18-11. It's now Rutgers who's gone the last 2+ minutes without a bucket.
And it was that fast-paced, up-and-down-the-court style of basketball we saw in the first half of the first half a couple minutes ago before one of the first media timeouts. This game has been fast-moving. It's only been a half an hour, and there's only 7 minutes left in the first half. That timeout by head coach for Rutgers, Steve Peichel, I think was well-placed. They were on the verge of Michigan really owning this portion of the game. Rutgers has not been able to score, and with McConnell bricking those 2 free throws, 2 easy points at the line off of 2 offensive rebounds for McConnell, that was a tough spot for Rutgers. They couldn't convert. Dickinson makes a great block. McDaniel comes around and finds Terrence Williams II, who takes a shot that I don't think many Wolverine fans will like, but he buries it.
It was one of those no, 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 yes shots for Terrence Williams. You mentioned the 2 missed free throws from McConnell. It's just the way things have gone of late for Rutgers. They had a terrible free throw shooting performance at the rack against Michigan. The shooting just not there today. 4 of 21 from the field, 19% clip. That's not going to cut it. It's why they're stuck at 11 points, almost 13 minutes into this ball game. So 18-11 your score. Michigan with the lead. Juwan Howard in his 4th year as Michigan coach. He's just got a 1-2 Big Ten tournament record. Last year, of course, the Wolverines needing a win blew that 17-point second-half lead against Indiana in the 8-9 game, the early slot. Went on, hold their breath until Selection Sunday, ended up not only being in the field but avoiding Dayton. Certainly if Michigan is to lose this game this year, they wouldn't have the same fate.
Most definitely. If this team were to lose this game, the chance at the actual NCAA basketball postseason would be over for Michigan. And even, I think, I have a question for you, Jared. If they go on to win this game, beat Purdue, do they still need to win another game?
So, it's close. I think Michigan would be about 50-50 chance to make the tournament. I would say they should not get in. The question is, Purdue is a quad 1A game. So does a win over the Boilermakers, one of the best teams in the country, right on that 1-2 seed line for the NCAA tournament, does a win over Purdue push the needle that much? Whereas if Michigan was set to play Northwestern or Indiana in the second round, I think we could confidently say they need 3 wins. Does Purdue push that needle?
Yeah, and it depends on what, in that third game, what the outcome ends up being. If they get killed. Is it a
close loss? Right.
Yeah.
A long ways to go until that one, but you could argue that, in a way, Michigan's bracket is favorable, considering they need a few wins anyway. You might as well face the best teams to do it. 18-11 the score out of Steve Heichel's timeout, 7:18 and rolling to play as Derek Simpson lobs for Omori at the top of the key. Dribble handoff with McConnell. Swing it left wing, Mulcahy probes, kick for Spencer, hasn't been able to get going, working with McDaniel, looks to back him down with the left shoulder, to the foul line, now kicks, right wing McConnell, drives on Williams, hop steps into the lane, tough turnaround jumper, left it short, Omori snags the board and kicks back out up top for McConnell. So another second opportunity for Rutgers, Scarlet Knights now with 5 offensive boards. Spencer snakes left, thought about a 3, gives for Mulcahy up top instead with 6 to shoot. Finds Omori in the short corner facing Dickinson. 3 to shoot. Backs him down. Spins to his left. Wild hook shot. Won't go. It didn't hit rim. It'll be another shot clock violation. So Cliff Omori is gifted but challenged offensively. His best skill is dunking the basketball. He does it from seemingly impossible angles. Credit Dickinson for not allowing him to get anywhere near the hoop.
And the interior defense for Michigan has stepped up. I said in the pregame that would be a big key to the game. Michigan has dominated so far.
Doug McDaniel calls out a play from the logo. 6:27 to play in the first half. Michigan clenching a 7-point lead. It's 18-11. Terrence Williams on the left wing rifles it for Dickinson underneath, and Omori called for a foul, was resting his arm on Dickinson's back. And that'll take us to the 1-1 here. Or not quite. That's Omori's second foul, though, which is a big deal. 4th team on Rutgers. Next Michigan foul, Rutgers will be in the bonus as McDaniel sets to inbound. McDaniel searching as Simpson guards the inbounds pass, finds Bufkin in the left corner, draped by Spencer. Takes it back out on the wing. Now Bufkin drives, turns the corner, drops it underneath for Williams. Couldn't catch it cleanly, and Mulcahy has the ball. Quick feed up the right side for McConnell. Sidesteps on Howard. Finds Spencer at the foul line. Pull-up jumper in stride is pure for Cam Spencer. That's a big swing there. Terrence Williams seemingly had a layup cutting to the rack, but couldn't catch the ball cleanly. 18-13 now the score, under 6 to play in the first half. McDaniel at the top of the key working with Simpson. Dribbling with the left hand, drops it off on a bounce pass left side for Jet Howard with McConnell. Finds Williams on the left wing, underneath for Dickinson. Doubled kick, right corner. Bufkin tees up a 3, off the heel, and the weak side board pulled down by McConnell. McConnell rumbles right to left. Swing it right side. Spencer drives on Williams, gets into the lane. Left-handed layup is good for Cam Spencer. It's a 4-0 spurt for Spencer. And the Rutgers Scarlet Knights are within 3.
And Spencer is not a player the Wolverines want to let get hot.
McDaniel, swing it right side, Bufkin for Dickinson. Dickinson spins away from his defender. He's triple teamed, and it's going to be a foul. Could not tell if that was going to be a foul or a jump ball as 3 Scarlet Knights swarm Dickinson on the block.
And that must have been one of the adjustments from Coach Peichel out of his timeouts. And really, it's not a bad adjustment. It's a lineup that Michigan has out on the floor where you're not scared about the 3-point shooting of Williams or McDaniel.
The foul was on Spencer as Bufkin catches the inbounds pass in the right corner. Calls away a Dickinson screen as he works his way to the wing. Dickinson with wolf hook as Omori's out of the game. Dickinson turns, left-handed hook, drops it in. That's too easy against the backup center for an All-American candidate like Hunter Dickinson. Spencer, swing it right wing, Mulcahy. Extra feet in the corner for McConnell. Rutgers down 5, but a bit of life on offense for the Scarlet Knights these last 2 trips down the floor. Derek Simpson catches at the logo, takes things slow. Steve Peichel yelling directions from the sideline. 8 to shoot for Rutgers. Simpson moves left, draws McDaniel on a switch, spins away from him, turns the corner. The runner off glass, no. Wolfolk the tip in, yes. And Rutgers within 3. Rutgers has now scored on its last 3 possessions, a revelation for the offense. McDaniel, kick it right wing. Williams looking for Dickinson. Finds McDaniel up top instead. Back to Williams, now inside for Dickinson. Dickinson again, one-on-one, doubled, cross-court Buffkin, swing it left wing. Jet Howard lines up a 3. That one rims around and drops in. Talk about a friendly bounce in Chicago for Jet Howard, who stretches the lead to 6.
Great timing by Dickinson to wait for the double to come and then send it back out to the corner. Extra pass to the wing and a 3-pointer.
23-17, Michigan up, 3:50 to play in the first. Next whistle takes us to the under 4. Mulcahy on the left wing. He had the hot hand early for Rutgers. Up top, Simpson with Buffkin and 7 to shoot. Another late shot clock possession. Simpson stutter steps, turns the corner, hangs over Williams and drops it in. Tough take and a make for the freshman.
Really tough shot, and Rutgers has lived off those so far. They've made a lot of tough buckets.
23-19, Michigan up 4, 3:24 to play in the first. McDaniel snakes right, whistles it underneath, looking for Dickinson. Wasn't ready for it, but Spencer commits his second foul. So that'll take us to the under 4 timeout. 23-19, Michigan with the lead with 3:22 to play in the first. Rutgers' offense looks a little better in that last stretch of play.
They still haven't been able to get what they want inside without missing a shot first, getting the offensive rebound and gathering it back up towards the cup. That has been a problem for Michigan, containing Rutgers' strength on the offensive boards. Other than that, I've been impressed at the interior defense on the initial shots from Rutgers. They'll form a wall around the basket. They haven't been able to let the Scarlet Knights get what they want, and they've been settling for tough mid-range shots. And that's a shot that is increasingly dying in today's game because of the reliance on the three-pointer, and you want closer shots inside for a higher percentage. Michigan is making Rutgers take those analytically poor shots. I also think Hunter Dickinson is getting double-teamed and triple-teamed as soon as he's entered the ball when Amori's not in the game. He showed excellent poise as a big man to be able to pass out of the double team, a skip pass to the opposite corner, and then they find Howard on a wing three-point attempt. That was a crucial series for Michigan. If they miss that shot or don't find it, they'd only be up by 1 in a game where they've really dominated for the most part. It's just that Rutgers has still stayed a step behind. Michigan hasn't been able to pull away.
You felt that was a big shot for Jet Howard. His reaction let you know it. Walked down the court screaming and flexing. It bounced around several times on the rim before falling in. I don't think anyone in this building except maybe Jet Howard thought that one was going in, but a big shot considering Rutgers at that point had scored on its last 3 trips. Michigan had gone a little cold. It was a good look, and Howard knocked it down.
He was well covered. The Rutgers defense has been good. But Dickinson is so dominant inside. It's been a struggle for any team to stop him all year unless they have a very athletic big in the game. And Amori is that. But with Dickinson grabbing mismatches or having freshmen inside to guard him, it's been tough for the Scarlet Knights to consistently string stops. And I'm of the opinion, with Michigan being so dominant inside, you have to start inside and then go outside. You can't be settling for these outside shots and then kind of switch off, looking to maybe please the guards and then get inside to Dickinson and alternate possessions like that. It needs to start inside every possession.
Omori with just 2 points on 1 of 7 shooting. You can argue that McConnell or Mulcahy are the heartbeat of this Rutgers team, but Omori has a case as well. He's been in double figures scoring-wise in 13 of his last 14 games. He's their leading scorer, their leading rebounder, their leading shot blocker. And Dickinson has really neutralized him so far today. It's why Michigan, in parts, has a 4-point lead. So 23-19 the score on the other side of the under 4 timeout, 3:22 to play. Jet Howard inbounds for Terrace Reed, who catches on the right elbow, working with Wolfhook. Jab steps, drives, turns the corner, lost it on his way up, out of bounds. Oh, the ref will say it's off Rutgers. I almost certainly thought that was off Reed's right leg.
It looked like it went off Reed's leg. I will say a great jab step by Reed to get inside, shake his defender. And Wolfhook has not looked good defensively so far.
That is a terrible blown call. We see the replay here, clearly off Reed. Michigan, however, afforded a mulligan. Jet Howard on the right wing around the screen from Reed. Locked up in the corner. Kicks it right side for Williams with 4 to shoot. Williams got to go to work. Williams lowers his shoulder, drives, fade away in the corner, off the heel. Reed grabs the rebound, then lost it. A fight for it erupts along the Rutgers sideline. Reed and Simpson there, and Reed had it but was out of bounds. It'll go to Rutgers. So that about sets things straight.
And we'll see how long the leash is for Reed in this set of minutes that he's getting without Dickinson on the floor. The last time it was a 4-0 Rutgers run, and only about a minute or two he was taken off immediately. Dickinson's already coming back to the scorer's table, and we'll see if he comes on. He will.
I was about to say Dickinson's played 16 minutes. You figure Juwan Howard just trying to get him a little bit of extra rest, but these games are too important. Dickinson comes right back in. Joey Baker in for Terrence Williams as well. So Derek Simpson, the freshman who's got 4 points on 2 of 8 shooting, takes it right to left. He's played by McDaniel, who's yet to score. So Simpson with the best of that matchup early. McConnell at the top of the key, Simpson rather, played by McDaniel, curls left. Dickinson doubles him along the sideline, gets away McConnell underneath Woolfolk. Leaves into Baker, the bank shot, got it to go for the freshman. Big body at 6'9", 250, and he banks it home to draw Rutgers within just 2.
Big offensive possession for Michigan. They need to keep having Rutgers be at an arm's length.
McDaniel left to right down the near side. These are a crucial final 2:20 here in the first half. McDaniel finds Dickinson in the short corner. Simpson flashes a double, but it's 1-on-1 for now. Simpson right there. He doubles, knocked it away. He's got a steal. Rutgers the other way. Simpson for Palmquist on the left wing. 2-on-2 and now even strength. Derek Simpson, a burst of life for Rutgers. At the top of the key with McDaniel. Double, drops it away. Woolfolk drives. Picks up his dribble. Back out Simpson. Left wing 3 for the lead. Off the heel. And then a foul on McDaniel, who pushed Palmquist while fighting for the board into the row of cheerleaders.
On that turnover by Dickinson on the earlier Michigan possession, he can't do that. He made a nice play on a similar play with the double coming on. He took too long, wasn't confident enough with his dribble to keep it, lost the ball, and Rutgers gets an easy opportunity.
6 turnovers for Michigan, more pertinently 7 fouls, so it'll be a 1-and-1 for Oskar Palmquist, the junior forward from Sweden, who shoots it at just a 50% clip from the free throw line. One and one for Palmquist. And he buries the first. Rutgers all of a sudden within 1. The Scarlet Knights have never led. Michigan is led by as many as 7. 23-22 your score. 1:49 to play in the first half. Second is Pure by Palmquist. Shoots it at just 50%, but knocks down both. And Rutgers has come all the way back to tie the game. A bit of a full court press by the Scarlet Knights as the New Jersey contingent making a little noise here in Chicago. McDaniel on the left wing, matched up with the fellow freshman. Curls. Now drops it for Dickinson with Woolfolk. Dickinson lowers his shoulder, works baseline. He's doubled, trapped, throws it, deflected. Bufkin throws it away. Woolfolk the steal. Rumbles right to left down the middle. He'll take it all the way and lay it in. No transition defense from Michigan, and Rutgers takes a 2-point lead.
It's been the frustrating play that has dominated Michigan's season this far.
It's an 8-0 Scarlet Knights run. 70 seconds to play in the first half. Doug McDaniel scoreless, directing traffic at the top of the key. Swing it right side, Jet Howard. Lobs for Dickinson with Woolfolk. Dickinson across the lane, left-handed hook, and he drops it home. Nice soft touch off the front of the rim to knot this game up at 25. 50 seconds to go in the first half here from the United Center. A barn burner between Rutgers and Michigan. Mulcahy on the left wing, around the screen, loses Bufkin as Bufkin on his back as he weaves to the elbow. Up and under with the right, bank shot won't go, got his own miss. Kicks it up top, McConnell fakes the 3 and now will reset. 30 seconds to play and a 15-second differential shot clock, game clock. McConnell holds at the logo. Uses a screen, moves left, 18-footer off the bounce, left it short. Rebound, Woolfolk in a crowd, goes back up, missed the lay-in, Dickinson the board, 16 seconds. Quick outlet, McDaniel. He'll slow things down. Juwan Howard calls out a play. Michigan will not call a timeout. 9 seconds to play in the first half. McDaniel up top around the screen, moves right. Kicks it back left wing. Joey Baker fakes. Got Palmquist in the air. Reloads. Good for Joey Baker at the horn in Chicago. And Baker sends Michigan into the locker room up 3, 28-25.
Michigan allowed Rutgers to come back. Rutgers went up by 2. A nice shot from Dickinson inside to slow the crowd. Baker comes back and hits a buzzer beater 3. Michigan on top by 3. Not the worst outcome after the second half of that first half, how it played out.
That's a big time shot by Baker. not only on a team level to send the Wolverines into the locker room at halftime with the lead, which is just a big momentum boost, but for Baker individually, effectively got benched in Bloomington. Juwan Howard said he was dealing with a bit of a thumb issue, but reading between the lines, he practically got benched, and that was coming off the Illinois game where he missed a pair of big shots. It's got to feel good for Baker to see one go through. And again, you know, if Michigan is going to make a run here, it needs Baker to play well. Michigan doesn't have a deep bench, doesn't have a lot of shooting. Baker, when he's playing well, solves both those issues.
Well, it's great to see Joey making that shot because it seems that Reed is on a very short leash. Even with how well he's played over the past few games, has not been getting the extended burn that we've grown accustomed to. Maybe he gets that in the second half as he gets more comfortable. He is a freshman after all. Terrence Williams II did make a tough, long, mid-range shot. Another few possessions that would make some Wolverines fans frustrated. If Joey Baker can be that guy off the bench for Michigan consistently enough, that is a big deal as Michigan still wants to advance in this postseason. We have seen Jace Howard. He's a competent defender, and that's what he's on the floor to do. But Michigan needs shooting, and Joey Baker provides that.
Well, 28-25 your score at the halftime. Michigan in front over Rutgers in the 8-9 game here in a must-win scenario for the Wolverines inside the United Center. Let's run you quickly through a recap of that first half of action. The Wolverines came out hot, a 9-2 start that forced Rutgers into an early timeout. They led by as many as 7, including 18-11 at the 7:25 point, but the Scarlet Knights found their offense and battled back, using an 8-0 run to tie the game, but that big three-pointer by Joey Baker at the horn gave Michigan a 3-point lead heading into the locker room. Hunter Dickinson led the way for the Wolverines. He's gotten the best of the Omori-Dickinson matchup so far. 13 points and 6 of 10 from the field, including 4 rebounds for Dickinson, who continues his phenomenal stretch of basketball. Elsewhere, Jet Howard's knocked down a pair of threes. Kobe Buffkin with 4 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. But to keep up that pattern, also 4 turnovers. Doug McDaniel, the freshman point guard, yet to score. Terrence Williams with a bucket off the bench, and Joey Baker with a 3-pointer off the bench. For Rutgers, not much has gone right. Cliff Omori, their leading scorer, rebounder, and shot blocker, with just 2 points on 1 of 7 shooting. But the leading scorer is an unlikely source. Antoine Woolfolk off the bench, the backup center, with 6 points. He averages just 2 a game. Elsewhere, Paul Mulcahy had the first 5 points for the Scarlet Knights. He also has 3 steals and 3 offensive rebounds. Derek Simpson, the freshman, with 4 on 2 of 9 shooting. Cam Spencer with 4, and then Andre Hyatt and Oscar Palmquist with 2 points apiece. Rutgers shooting just 29% from the field, 11% on 1 of 9 shooting from beyond the arc, 4 of 6 from the line. They have 19 rebounds to Michigan's 16, just 5 assists to Michigan's 11. The Wolverines also with 7 turnovers. That's the story of the first half here from the United Center. 28-25, Michigan's on top. A barn burner, I think, is the best way, William, to describe that game. Not high-quality basketball, but this one feels like it's going down to the very end.
It was a lot of fun, and towards the end, Joey Baker sinks that 3 to put the Wolverines up 3, and I think that'll be a big possession. The Wolverines are only favored in this game by 3 points. They are the money line favorite. Joey Baker making that 3-pointer, those type of shots are few and far between in a game like this where the teams are both on track for around 50 to 60 points.
Michigan 28, Rutgers 25, your score here at halftime. Let's take a quick whip around the Big Ten. The Big Ten tournament with your out-of-town scoreboard. The Big Ten tournament kicked off yesterday here inside the United Center. Ohio State knocked Wisconsin off the bubble. The Buckeyes jumped out to an 18-point halftime lead, led by as many as 19. The Badgers, fighting for their tournament lives, came storming back. Tyler Wall hit a big banked-in 3 to cut the deficit to 5, but Chris Holtman's Buckeyes stood strong. They win 65-57 to advance to the next round. Then in the nightcap, the Minnesota Golden Gophers picked up just their 3rd conference win of the season, edging Nebraska 78-75. KC Tominaga missed a potential game-tying half-court heave at the buzzer. 2 players with double-doubles for the Golden Gophers, Dawson Garcia with 18 points and 13 rebounds, Talon Cooper with 12 points and 12 assists. Elsewhere today in the Big Ten, coming up after this game is Iowa and Ohio State. The 5th-seeded Hawkeyes will look to improve their NCAA tournament seeding against the upset-minded Buckeyes. Then in the nightcap, it's Maryland, the 6th seed, taking on Minnesota, the 14th seed. The Terrapins looking to improve their seed line as well. Then Illinois plays Penn State. The Nittany Lions seem to be on the right side of the NCAA tournament bubble with 2 huge wins down the stretch. But to feel good about their chances, they need a win today against the Illini. Some other bubble results around the country. West Virginia beat Texas Tech last night, all but punching their ticket to the dance. North Carolina, the preseason #1 team in the AP poll, right on the cut line. They beat Boston College to avoid a damaging loss. Arizona State, also firmly on the bubble, beat Oregon State late last night in Pac-12 play. And your score here is Michigan 28, Rutgers 25. We're in the middle of your WCBN Sports halftime show. Alongside William Gregory, I'm Jared Greenspan. Kellen Flynn and Zach Linfield will hop on in just a few minutes for second half action. Wolverines with the 3-point lead thanks to that 3-pointer by Joey Baker at the horn.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to be continuing our halftime coverage live from the Big Ten tournament. My name's Kellen Flynn. Zach Linfield will be joining me shortly as we continue our halftime coverage and get ready for the second half. Big thank you to Jared and William for some excellent first half coverage and what's been a very tight contest so far between these two teams. The 8-9 seed game here in Chicago. The Michigan Wolverines up 3 off of a late Joey Baker 3-pointer. 28-25. We're about 8 minutes away from getting back to the action. And for Michigan, it's a necessary game if you want to keep your tournament hopes alive. You've got to win this one, and you've likely got to pick up another win against Purdue on Friday, tomorrow, if you win this contest against Rutgers, a team that has really been in a bit of a downward spiral as the season has gone on. A team that started off very hot this year, got a lot of buzz, but head coach Steve Pikiel's squad has really started to go through some bumps in the road toward the end of the season, and Michigan needs to capitalize as Zach Linfield now joins me for our halftime coverage. Zach, it was an excellent first half. We were sitting over there watching the game. What were some of your big takeaways from that first half?
It's that Michigan came out strong. It seems like for a while now, Michigan has entered the game and hasn't necessarily started with a big jolt of energy. You and I called the game in Bloomington back on Sunday, and Indiana immediately went on a run. Michigan scored first, but then after that, Indiana went on a large run. It took until 18 minutes into the game for Michigan to finally go on that 31-6 spread. And you even throw it back to the Illinois game. Michigan was down 7-2, just like Rutgers was in this game. But in this game, the script was flipped. Michigan got on top early. They actually got a couple of Rutgers players in foul trouble. Amori had 2, Spencer had 2, but Michigan wasn't able to capitalize on that foul trouble late in the first half. So we're going to have to see how exactly Michigan comes out of the gate, because I would expect Rutgers to come out with a little more energy than they did in the first half.
And let's talk about that. Cliff Amori, the starting center for the Scarlet Knights, one of the better defensive centers in the conference, a key to this stout Rutgers defense, picked up those 2 fouls early in the first half, had to sit for a while. Michigan unable to take advantage. Amori over 2 blocks a game on the season. You'd think that when Michigan's star player and best offensive threat being Hunter Dickinson, the other team's opposing center, who's their best defensive player, or one of the key pieces to their defense, is out of the game, that you'd look to attack that each time down the floor. And Michigan wasn't able to get a lot of clean looks into Dickinson inside, especially with Amori on the sidelines.
Well, you've also got to be really impressed with the backup center, Woolfolk. He did a really good job in the first half when he came in. He was denying entry on down-low passes to Hunter. And while Amori was sitting on the bench, he went to the bench with about 6.5 to play. Hunter only had 4 points in that time, but you'd figure that maybe he would have a little bit more, because in the first half, Hunter scored a total of 13, which by far led the way for Michigan. On multiple shots, Jet Howard hit 2 3-pointers, but Hunter's doing the hard work right now. And another thing that you and I brought up that's kind of outside what we just mentioned was that Michigan's got to hit their open looks. Rutgers hit a couple of theirs, but Michigan, especially early in the first half, Will Cheddar had one. Jet Howard
Will Cheddar had a couple.
Yeah, Hunter had one. They've got to knock down the wide open threes, because then you look at the other side of the floor, and Rutgers was hitting theirs. So you've got to be able to hit your open shots. And if they do, Michigan had a great opportunity in the first half to be up 7 to 10 points, but they just didn't hit those shots.
And that's absolutely right, Zach. This is a Michigan team that has struggled with outside shooting at times this season. Jet Howard's been their most reliable guy from deep, but he has a tendency to go hot and cold from time to time. And when he's hot, and there's no one better in the conference when Jet Howard's on. But when he's cold, and it can be really tough to bounce back in those situations for Michigan. And so other players got to be able to pick up that slack, and it's really that consistency from the perimeter that's key for Michigan, because another thing we talked about is Hunter Dickinson, when he's doubled inside, which is something Rutgers has done a lot of. They've really tried to prevent him from getting one-on-ones in the post. Dickinson has great vision and is able to spray the ball out to the perimeter. Now it's up to the guards and the wings to be able to knock down those shots.
You know what's impressive, too, is Joey Baker had a really tough end to the regular season. He missed 2 shots in the game against Illinois right here in this state. And then he played against Indiana, but he only played in the first half. He had no time in the second half and in overtime against the Hoosiers this past Sunday. He hits a big-time 3 to end the first half. Rutgers was on a small run. Michigan ended 4 of 5 from the field in the first half, but that's a shot and a confidence-boosting shot that Joey Baker maybe needed to get back into his rhythm, because, as Jared said, they're going to need him down the stretch if Michigan is to make any kind of run in either the Big Ten tournament, the NCAA tournament, or even the NIT if Michigan finds themselves there.
And you need shooting come March, and Joey Baker is that guy for Michigan that was brought in the offseason to be the shooter off the bench, to be that designated shooter. And he's been fairly consistent, hovering around 40% from 3 on the year. But it just feels like he has a tendency to go hot and cold at times, and Michigan needs that consistency from him. They don't necessarily need him to get hot and knock down 6 3-pointers in a game, but those 2 or 3 3-pointers are a big contribution in a game like this. That's going to be a really tight game and potentially low scoring.
I mean, you look at the scoreboard and what it was halfway through the first half in comparison to what it looks like right now. Rutgers has a 25 up on the scoreboard. At one point, they had 11, and that was with 7.5 to go. So Michigan's defense, that was superb for about 13 minutes in this basketball game, it faltered a little bit down the stretch, and that was mainly in transition. But the one thing for you and I, as we were sitting to the side just chatting, well, Jared and William had a call, a great call at that in the first half, was Michigan was not boxing out defensively. Rutgers in the first half, they had 8 offensive rebounds. Michigan had 3. So the Wolverines, although Rutgers is missing a lot of shots, they've got to figure out a way to get body on body. Mulcahy, you mentioned it the best. Mulcahy is so strong at going right to the basket and grabbing offensive boards and gifting Rutgers a second chance. They're not great on offense. Shooting the ball, this team is not a great shooting team. However, they are very, very gritty, and they'll go after the offensive boards if need be.
You talked about Mulcahy. Paul Mulcahy with 3 offensive rebounds in that first half. Mulcahy's a guard, and we saw off rip, Rutgers' first basket of the game was a missed shot that Mulcahy just ran in, grabbed, put it back up, and got the scoring going for the Scarlet Knights. So, like you said, that's something Michigan's going to really need to clean up in the second half, because those second chance points are just too free. They're too easy to give up, and it's not something that you want to do if you're Michigan. Rutgers with 8 second chance points in that first half.
So let's talk about your halftime adjustments. Let's start with Rutgers. Kellen, what do you think that Steve Pike was pleading to his team at the break?
I think if you're Steve Peichel, you really like what you were doing, especially towards the end of that second half, getting out and transitioning, forcing a couple turnovers, coming hard on doubles on Hunter Dickinson, forcing Michigan's perimeter players to knock down outside shots and beat you. That's got to be the point of emphasis on defense.
So Michigan, Juwan Howard in his huddle right now, what do you think he's talking to his team about?
Well, it's kind of the flip side of that. You got to be smart with the basketball, and you've got to knock down your outside shots and be deliberate with what you're doing. You need to make sure that you're making the right plays, the right passes, and executing. Get the ball inside to Hunter effectively and quickly early in the shot clock. You can't spend 15 seconds, 17 seconds throwing around the perimeter just trying to get it inside to Hunter, because by that point, Rutgers has the advantage. Shot clock's running down. Michigan needs to scramble.
So Michigan will come out with their starting five to begin the second half. It's McDaniel, Dickinson, Buffkin, Howard, and Will Cheddar. And Rutgers counters with Simpson, Mulcahy, Spencer, Omori, and McConnell. I'm Zach Linfield alongside my good friend Kellen Flynn in the second half, following up William Gregory and our good friend Jared Greenspan. 28-25 Wolverines, 20 minutes on the clock to play here from the United Center in downtown Chicago, Illinois. Michigan looking to play copycat on that memorable 2017 run to the championship. They played number 1 seed Purdue on that the Friday. Played 9 seed Illinois on Thursday. Rutgers begins with the ball moving left to right. Simpson carrying at the Big Ten logo, the new Big Ten logo at that. Hedges around a screen, low on the right, blocked away by Buffkin, out of bounds it goes.
And that's a tremendous defensive play from Kobe Buffkin, showing off the athleticism there and the body control to go up, swat that ball away without fouling.
Paul Mulcahy in a red jersey for Rutgers will inbound. Rutgers from Piscataway, New Jersey, traveled a long way to Chicago. And they do not get away from the 5 count. The official here on the near sideline makes the call. There's a turnover, and only the 4th turnover for Rutgers on the day. Michigan, they're not great at forcing them, but the Wolverines have to trim themselves down. They turned it over 7 times.
And that's something that is something to look for in the second half. Rutgers forces teams to turn the ball over a lot. Michigan's got to cut down on those if they want to be successful.
Doug McDaniel maneuvering traffic for the Wolverines back at the Big Ten logo. Will Cheddar, right wing. Back to McDaniel, now to Jet Howard, left wing, gets away from McConnell, who tapped at the ball. 7 on the shot clock for Michigan. They're spending a lot of time out there right now. Jet Howard in the near corner, forces it up, missed the shot, back outside Will Cheddar. That's going to be a shot clock violation. And both teams turn the ball over to being in the second half.
And Zach, what did I say at the end of halftime there? Michigan needs to be deliberate and can't waste 15 seconds of the shot clock running around the perimeter just trying to get it inside. What happened right there? Took too long on the perimeter, ends up having to scramble, leads to a turnover.
Back to where we were just a moment ago. Far pass into the corner. Simpson misses a 3 off front rim, and Kobe Buffkin tears down the rebound. Here comes the Maize and Blue in their white uniforms today. Moving from right to left, Jet Howard, a right wing 3-pointer, off front rim, down to Omori, who had 2 fouls in the first half, had to sit for the final 6.5, and Hunter Dickinson went to work. So here's Spencer now, right elbow jumper. That's off the front of the rim, falls down to Doug McDaniel. Here comes Michigan. You and I talked about it a lot, Kel. Michigan's running a lot more in transition. Kobe Buffkin in the far corner, dumps down low to the left for Hunter Dickinson. Spins up, and he's fouled.
And right there, Zach, Michigan was able to get the ball inside to Dickinson with only about 6-7 seconds into the shot clock. Forces Rutgers to bring a double, triple team there. You draw a foul. Now you're able to inbound from the baseline.
The foul's on Simpson. Michigan with Doug McDaniel to inbound. Gets it to Kobe Buffkin, short right corner. He fires it up, and it spins out. Oh, unlucky roll for Kobe Buffkin. He's gotten that shot to fall so many times late season, but here comes Rutgers with Mulcahy at the right wing. Driving to the free throw line. Down low, Omori. He's on the right. Now low on the right, spins up. Oh, we got a Hunter Dickinson shot to fall over Hunter. And it's a 1-point spread, 28-27 Wolverines.
And that's not something you necessarily look for in Omori to hit that hook shot, but shows off a nice touch there on the inside.
McDaniel, a slow sprint to the right wing. Down low past Hunter Dickinson. In some traffic, floats it up with his left, misses, and the rebound is torn down by Simpson. And here he comes, sprinting into the front court. A short runner. Rutgers leads for the first time. It's 29-28 Scarlet Knights.
And Will Cheddar was the only man in white in there for that offensive rebound. He had 4 red jerseys around him. Everyone else in white was on the perimeter.
Second time the Wolverines have allowed the Scarlet Knights in the past 3 minutes of game time to go coast to coast for a free layup. Hunter Dickinson at the key. Down low pass from McDaniel. Tried to yam it over Mulcahy and he missed it. Hunter Dickinson, frustrated, smacks the back post of that basket here on the left side of the floor, and he'll go to the free throw line. Man, he wanted the and one, he just missed it.
And that was beautiful play design there from Juwan Howard. Excellent execution from the 5 on the floor for Michigan. Dickinson can't quite get the bucket, but still gets a trip to the charity stripe for 2 more.
Hunter shot the free throw ball very well as of late. 73% on the season. Here's the first one from Hunter, and it's pure.
And this is something we've seen Michigan improve on a lot this season. Still a little bit of room to go, but their free throw shooting has gotten much better as the season's gone on. In November, it was a real weak point of this team.
And right on cue, he misses the second. 29 all from the United Center in Chicago. 17:30 on the clock. Rutgers from left to right. Here they come in those scarlet uniforms. Simpson carries, now with Mulcahy at the point. Defended tightly by Bufkin. A right wing pass. Simpson cues up a three-pointer. That's pure, and Rutgers has their largest lead at 3.
And Doug McDaniel just kind of slipped there. Spencer wide open. He's too good of a shooter to be left that
Amori
open.
got a piece of him, and here comes Michigan now. 32-29 Rutgers. Jet Howard, a right elbow pass to Hunter Dickinson, who squares up Amori, holding it in his left hand. Creates some contact now with Cliff. Around the screen goes Bufkin. Down low pass, Hunter Dickinson. Inside the paint, got away with the travel, floats it up, missed the shot, but a foul coming against Rutgers. It's called against Cam Spencer. That's his 3rd foul.
And that's a big call with Amori kind of in the thick of it there. That they called it on 10 instead of 11.
Really could have called it on anyone there. It was Amori, Mulcahy, and Spencer, but of course the call goes against Spencer, his 3rd. Michigan with 13 on the shot clock. Hunter Dickinson inside the paint, drawing a double team. Floats it up with the left, missed the backboard, and rebound to Mulcahy. Will Cheddar tried to fight for it, couldn't grab it. Simpson in the front court for Rutgers. Crafty dribble, gets away from McDaniel. Throws it up, grabs it back, and now floats to McConnell, top of the key. Left wing Mulcahy defended by Jet Howard. No substitutions for either team here in the second half. McConnell drives into the paint. Now Mulcahy gets it back from McConnell. Drives low on the right to McConnell. Right elbow. Fires away a jumper. That's in. And Rutgers all of a sudden leads by 5. It's 34-29 Scarlet Knights.
That's a tough shot from McConnell there. Excellent length, able to rise up and hit that over the smaller defender.
Doug McDaniel scurries into the front court. Timeout, Juwan Howard and Michigan. Just 1 second away from the media timeout here from the United Center. And Rutgers is 4 of their last 4. They trailed by 3 heading into the break. And now Rutgers has a 5-point lead, Kellen.
And it's all been execution from Rutgers. Michigan has been sloppy with the basketball. They haven't been able to convert. They're not crashing the glass. Rutgers has dominated Michigan on the boards, especially on the defensive side, out rebounding them 24-18. And so it's been difficult for Michigan to get any kind of second chance points or any other opportunities if their initial set doesn't go to plan.
So now Michigan trails by 5. Juwan Howard calls timeout, and it's got to be a different message. We talked about what it was at halftime for Juwan Howard to this crew, but now it's got to change. Rutgers did come out with that electricity that we figured they would, and now Michigan's in a deficit like Rutgers was at halftime. Michigan was up by 3. Now they trail by 5. Plenty of ball left. 16:01 on the clock, trailing 34-29.
And Zach, somebody's got to come into this game and give Michigan a shot in the arm. In this second half, and even about halfway through the end of the first half, it just feels like the energy's kind of gone down from this team. They felt kind of stagnant. And so somebody's got to come in, hit a big shot, make a big play, give this team some life. And I don't know if that's Joey Baker off the bench to come in and spot up and hit a big 3, or if it's Kobe Bufkin making a big-time play. I don't know who's going to make it, but somebody's got to come in and give this team some life, some energy.
I think the difference, too, is we talked about Michigan in that first half having open looks to shoot, and they just weren't hitting them. Through 3 minutes and 59 seconds of second half play, they haven't gotten the open looks. It seems like the offense isn't moving as much, and exactly what you said late in the halftime break is Michigan's got to figure out, number one, a way to make those shots, but how to utilize the shot clock. They're waiting too long, it seems like, to get into their offense, because once they get the ball into the hands of someone that actually wants to move with it, there's about 9 on the shot clock. Then there's a desperation pass down low, and Hunter's got to float one up.
And in the second half, Michigan 0 of 4 from the field, 1 of 2 from the line, 1 turnover. That is not winning basketball there, and if Michigan is going to turn this around, they absolutely need to find a way to get some good shots. They got an excellent look with that play to get Hunter Dickinson crashing, and they executed, just didn't make both free throws, but got to draw something up. And it looks like Joey Baker's checked into the game. I'd really like to see Baker get a look. He hit one earlier. See if you can get him freed up beyond the arc and get this team fired up with a spark off the bench.
This was the same lineup that Michigan pretty much ran with when Jet Howard went down with injury. So the substitution is Joey for Jet. 20 on the shot clock for Michigan. Under 16 to play. Trailing by 5. Kobe Buffkin around a screen, drives low on the left, floats it up. Can't get the shot to go, but a foul called on Rutgers. And Kobe Buffkin will go to the line.
And I like that from Kobe, attacking the rim with vigor, going straight at that Rutgers defense. That's the kind of energy this Michigan team needs, and Kobe Buffkin has been providing that throughout the season.
Man, it feels like we're at a football game with that media timeout back-to-back. But
is this the Big Ten championship game with these 4-minute commercial breaks?
Well, the clock showed 16:01. One whistle later at 15:51, and we're at another media timeout. So Kobe Buffkin will be at the line for Michigan when we return to action. But that's better action on the floor for Michigan. The movement was a lot better. They were engineering a good offense, and they got a chance for Kobe Buffkin, and that's now twice in a row. We've seen a ball go in and out of the basket, one on the jumper, one on the layup. But he's got a chance to bring Michigan within 3 when he finally takes the line for free throws.
And Buffkin's been the best free throw shooter on this team pretty much all season. He's been the most consistent from the line. And somebody from Michigan, maybe it is Kobe Buffkin, but needs to, on the defensive side too, say, hey, we've got to want this. Because this is the life of this team. This is it. This is potentially the last game of the season. And so you need to play with urgency. And I don't know, maybe you disagree, Zach, but it doesn't feel like they're playing like it's potentially their last game of the season.
Yeah, and, you know, we've talked about that a couple of times, and we obviously want to be optimistic about this team. However, there is a chance that this is the last game of the season. It would be a disappointment, especially for us seniors, Jared and I, as the juniors, Kellen and William, are with us, that this would be the last game that we potentially get to call for Michigan. And we've talked about the effort level of the team. And yes, they obviously do care, and that's
I'm not saying they don't
skepticism
care about but yes.
But I fully understand what you're saying, and I think that just reflects a lot about what the fan base thinks about this team as well, especially as us as students, us as fans, and not exactly employees quite yet. That has been disappointing because that's not the brand of Michigan basketball that we've been seeing pretty much for the entirety of our lives so far. You grew up a Michigan fan, I did too.
Yeah, and it feels like last year even, it was a really rocky start to the season, but down the stretch a switch flipped, and the team was able to really rally and get some big wins. No one thought they were making the Sweet 16.
Exactly,
get some big wins down the stretch of that season, and then go in and win a couple of games in March Madness, beat a Colorado State team that was seeded higher than them, and then upset a Tennessee team that a lot of people like to make a deep run in the tournament.
So we're back to play. Michigan trails by 5. Kobe Buffkin at the line to shoot 2. First one is up and good. Kobe's missed his last 2 shots from the floor, but he now makes it 34-30. Andre Hyatt checks into the game for Paul Mulcahy out of the timeout. 15:51 to play, second half here in the Big Ten tournament. Second shot from Kobe Buffkin. Locks low, it fires, and it's a 3-point spread. So Michigan with McDaniel, Dickinson, Buffkin, Baker, and Cheddar. Rutgers, Simpson, Palmquist, Hyatt, Omori, and McConnell. Rutgers in their reds, Michigan in their whites today. The new Big Ten logo, half court, Palmquist with it. Back to Simpson, working against Doug McDaniel, 0-on-0. Now Omori, right elbow, hands off Simpson, top of the key, Hyatt a straightaway three, bangs it home. Largest lead for Rutgers at 6, 37-31. Let's see if Michigan can get back into that offense we saw early in this game. They led 7-0. Joey Baker at the point, dribbling to his right, hands off Kobe Buffkin, pulls a screen from Dickinson. Back to Will Cheddar, right wing, wanted the three, did not take it. Down low pass, intercepted, Baker grabs it right back from Omori. Baker a low pass, Cheddar, down low Dickinson, but a foul called before the pass. The ball movement there for Michigan got better, however, the tapped pass from Omori on Baker's attempt to get it down low to Dickinson kind of messed with the whole operation.
And it just feels like that's really a credit to Rutgers. This is a team that's very long, excellent hands defensively. That's what they thrive on.
Corner three-point try for Dickinson out of the inbound. That's pure, and Michigan trails by 3. The foul went against Simpson prior to that. That was his second. So under 15 to play. Simpson drives to the baseline low on the left, defended by McDaniel. Long pass, Hyatt now to McConnell with the logo. 4 feet of space between him and Buffkin as he engineers the offense. McConnell hesitates, drives baseline, and a foul will be called on Kobe Buffkin.
And
so that's Kobe's second.
Kobe Buffkin only with 6 points early in this game. I'm really looking for him to take a step. He's been this team's most consistent guy down the stretch.
Sharp pass into the corner. Hyatt tries out of the inbound. He misses, and Kobe Buffkin tears down a rebound. He's got 6 points, 6 boards, and 5 assists. So he's been a balanced player today, and he runs the point now for the Wolverines. Tapped out of bounds by McConnell.
And that's something I've really loved to see from him this season, his development as a playmaker. When Jalen Llewellyn went down, he was forced into that secondary point guard position, and he's made big strides as a playmaker throughout the year.
This is an interesting switch in my eyes for Michigan. Will Cheddar out, Jet Howard in. So we now have Jet Howard and Joey Baker into the game for the Wolverines, and Paul Mulcahy, a great defender, immediately checks in for Rutgers, and they also check into a 2-3 zone. 15 on the timer for Michigan. Dickinson wanted a corner pass, instead opts to go to McDaniel at the right wing. Jet Howard left wing, pumps, dumps it down low. Dickinson, pass creeps back outside to Joey Baker in the corner. 4 on the timer. Hunter's got to go with it. 2 on the timer. Left wing shot missed, out of bounds it goes, and it's a shot clock violation, and Rutgers will take over on possession.
And this Rutgers defense just so stifling. They do an excellent job of preventing Michigan from entering the ball down low. Baker running the baseline, just nothing doing there.
Only one Wolverine in double figures. It's Hunter. He's got 17. Hyde at the right wing. A long pass to Omori, running the point. Does not shoot the three-point ball well. Not a threat. He's 0 for 1 today. McConnell now at the logo. Some extended defense from Jet Howard. Omori controls it. Lots of space between him and Hunter. McConnell at the right wing. Driving on Jet. Jet commits a foul. Late in the shot clock, too. There was only 4 seconds on the timer, and I just don't think that's needed from Jet. He was in good position, but put his hands on it.
Exactly. It's a lazy foul. He was moving his feet well, just decided to put his hands into the body of McConnell, and that's going to get called every single time. Had help from Baker at the rim. No need for that.
37-34 Rutgers. A long ways away from Piscataway here in Chicago. Omori dribbles to his right, hands off right wing McConnell. Pulls a switch from McDaniel. He drives in on Doug. Spins. Takes a shot. Off the window. Missed it too far. Rebound to Baker. Tapped over to Kobe Buffkin. And here come the Maize and Blue. So Kobe Buffkin with a chance to tie or cut the lead to 1. Down low pass. Dickinson intercepted. Here comes Mulcahy and Rutgers. A nice pass to Palmquist. Gets caught up into his feet. Buffkin throws it way down the court. Hunter Dickinson, a hesitation dribble, throws it up, missed the shot, but he's fouled. Man, he has missed a couple of them now where he has had a chance for an and one, but just has not gotten it to fall.
And that's going to be the 3rd on Omori now. Good foul from the Rutgers big man, but that's going to put him back on the bench for a few minutes. Michigan's got to try to take advantage with Omori out of the game. I know we saw good things from the backup freshman there.
Hunter misses
Wolfork.
First, off the heel. And here comes Wolfork and Spencer. Michigan will check in Terrace Reed Jr., so they'll go with that two big lineup and Joey Baker to the bench. So now Hunter Dickinson with a chance to make it a 2-point game. 2 dribbles with his left hand. A creak of the knees, fires away the second one, and that falls through. It's 37-35 with 13 minutes to play here in Chicago. Paul Mulcahy with the C on his left chest runs the point, wearing number 4 for Rutgers. Draws a screen from Wolfork. Back into the regular defense for Michigan, man on man. Mulcahy to the right wing. A sharp shooting Spencer has it at the elbow extended. Wolfork into the corner. Hyatt, he'll pull from almost anywhere. Baseline jumper, left it short. Rebound, Jet Howard. And had it in the short corner. Here comes Michigan.
Good defensive possession there from Jet.
And Jet Howard now at the point running the offense for Michigan. Drives into the lane. A right elbow floater, missed it. Terrace Reed with a chance at it. Falls down to Spencer. Rutgers in the transition. They lead by 2. Spencer draws Hunter Dickinson. That's a mismatch for him. Left wing Mulcahy back to Spencer, who squares up Hunter. Drives with the left. He's at the left block. Pump fake at the free throw line. Back outside Mulcahy, a 3-pointer. That rims home. Timeout Rutgers. It's a full timeout immediately after the Paul Mulcahy 3-pointer. And Mulcahy has his 6th, 7th, and 8th points of the afternoon. 12:08 showing on the clock, and Rutgers' lead has ballooned back up to 5.
And that's just a tough possession for Michigan. Hunter Dickinson actually does a pretty good job guarding the smaller, quicker Spencer, staying in front of him. But Buffkin, wary that Dickinson might get blown by, creeps in a little bit, and then Mulcahy able to rein in the 3 on what was a pretty good contest from Kobe Buffkin. Rutgers is just flat out knocking down shots, which is something we talked about at halftime.
Michigan's got to figure out a way to just make their shots. They've been there, and even on the Hunter attempt where he was fouled by Amori, which is also big that Cliff Amori picked up his 3rd foul, is that Juwan Howard is urging the Hunter, dunk it. He's done that now for 2 years where we've seen Juwan Howard not necessarily frustrated, but encouraging Hunter to use his size and jump up 3 feet to dunk the ball home. So that's 2 points missed out on for Michigan potentially. And now they trail by 5 to a Rutgers team that they were able to beat by 12 about 2.5, 3 weeks ago now in Piscataway. In a place that really at the time, Michigan seemed to have no business winning. And yet they found a way to win that game in Rutgers.
And going to Rutgers to play, that's not a friendly environment. Going to the rack is no easy task, and Michigan was able to come out on top there. Something to note, Rutgers, 1 of 9 from beyond the arc in the first half. In the second half, they're 3 of 4. That's really been the big difference maker for the Scarlet Knights. They came out of the half and have shot it much better from 3. Michigan has really not been able to say the same. Just 1 of 2 in the first half compared to 3 of 10. 3 of 10 in the first half, 1 of 2 in the second.
Rutgers has started the second half on a 15-7 run. And Michigan really being carried by Hunter Dickinson in that department. They show on the big board the Hunter Dickinson 3-pointer from the corner. And he's had a free throw. Kobe Buffkin got himself to the line, but the Wolverines are going to have to find offense elsewhere. And whether that's Terrace Reed or Jet Howard, we have yet to figure out exactly who that may be. So it's 40-35, 12:08 on the clock. We're in the timeout called by Rutgers. And guess what we're 8 seconds away from, Kellen?
Another media timeout. The joys of college basketball in the era of network television.
And I will tell you something intriguing about the remaining 12:08 is that Michigan only has 2 fouls to their name here in the second half. Rutgers has been called for 6. So the rest of the way in this game, Michigan will be shooting at least 1 free throw. So fresh out of the Rutgers timeout called by Steve Peichel after the Paul Mulcahy 3-pointer, Michigan has possession. They also have the arrow. Important to note down the stretch. Doug McDaniel to Hunter Dickinson. Right at the point, he's got some space, does not take a shot. The right wing extended for McDaniel. Howard, nice pass inside. Hunter Dickinson floats it up, missed a shot. It was way off, but a foul coming against Rutgers. I think they're going to get Wolfork here for his second foul. And that is the call. Hunter Dickinson back to the line for Michigan. He's 3 of 5 today. His first one is well short.
And free throw shooting, something that Michigan, you have to capitalize. If you want to win in March, you got to make free throws.
They shot it well in the first half. They're now 5 of 8. Second free throw finds home. So it's 40-36 Rutgers with 11:50. So no under 12 timeout. That counted as the under 12 timeout. So Wolfork running the offense. Pass is tipped and intercepted away by Terrace Reed and Kobe Buffkin. Here comes Michigan, trailing by 4. All the way to the right wing, Doug McDaniel drives, and he is fouled, and he will go immediately to the line because of the foul on Oscar Palmquist, a native of Kinna, Sweden.
And there's the quickness and speed of Doug McDaniel. Just blows right by Palmquist with a nice little in and out move there. Freezes Palmquist's feet. All he can do is grab the jersey of number 0 in white, and that's a quick, free chance at points for Michigan.
Well, he throws at 73% on the year. And Doug has his first points of the afternoon.
And I know I talked about it at the Indiana game, but it's just been such a joy to watch Doug McDaniel develop throughout this season. Look at where he was at the start of the year and where he is now.
The second one rattles home as well. So it's 40-38. I agree. His growth ever since Jalen Llewellyn went down has been fantastic. So the Michigan fans in attendance have risen to their feet, trailing by 2, 11:30 to play second half. First game of the Big Ten tournament for Michigan, game number 3 overall of this tournament here in Chicago. Mulcahy at the right elbow, looking to disperse a pass. Wide open, high to straightaway three-pointer, too strong. Rebound falls down to Kobe Buffkin. 3-on-3 here, Michigan and Rutgers. Now everyone's back home. Hunter Dickinson right wing, deep pass. Terrace Reed down on the block. He is fouled right before a shot.
And we've seen
Terrace Reed will go to the line.
Rutgers really crash down hard whenever Michigan catches the ball in the low post. We've seen 2, sometimes even 3 bodies pretty consistently from Rutgers whenever Reed or Dickinson has it inside.
The foul was called on Andre Hyatt, and now here is Terrace Reed to shoot free throws. His first one is good. And maybe a bit of a Yankee cheer for Terrace Reed as he knocks home his first. And you can almost bet if he knocks home this one as well that this Michigan crowd is going to urge him on. He only shoots at 38%, and this one's to tie. Bend in the knees, and he left it short. Rebound, Terrace Reed. Reed back outside Jet Howard. It fumbled around, and Michigan and Rutgers will just tie it up. Boy, they had a chance at it. Terrace should have just held on to it. But then Jet fumbled it, and the ball landed on the floor, and both teams kind of conceded at that point. Just to say, let's tie this one up. Michigan, you get the ball, and we'll take it next.
And veteran play from Mulcahy there. He knew Terrace Reed wanted to get rid of that basketball. Just ran right with Jet Howard, able to poke it away.
Yeah, Terrace was outside the three-point arc for a minute there, and he said immediately, I need to get back inside the arc. So here's Hunter Dickinson from the left block, turns, fires with the left off the side of the backboard. Here comes Simpson for Rutgers. Simpson tries, low on the right, floats up a layup, and he missed it, but he was fouled, and he will go to the line. Foul called on Jet Howard. The transition defense for Michigan, although Doug McDaniel did a good job there, they haven't really stopped the ball well today.
No, they haven't, and McDaniel's able to force Simpson back inside to where his help should be. The rest of the team just not quite back in time.
Simpson makes the first. It's 41-39 Rutgers. Simpson, the second best free throw shooter on the team at 82%. Pretty much shoots at the same clip as Kobe Buffkin. He misses the second, but Michigan did not box out at all. The ball came back to Simpson, and he made a free layup.
And that's basketball 101 right there. Got to communicate who has the shooter. Michigan, nobody does that, and that's a free 2 points for Rutgers.
So Michigan had momentum there for a moment. Nobody boxed out the shooter.
And Jet Howard just took a couple steps back.
Doug McDaniel pulls up from the free throw line. He leaves it way too short. And Rutgers with McConnell has the rebound. What a swing this would be for Rutgers. Simpson at the newly renovated Big Ten logo in between the circles. To McConnell at the right wing. Squares up Terrace Reed. Grabs a screen from Amori. There is a switch. Down low pass to Amori. Was intercepted by Kobe Buffkin, but he's out of bounds. He went up and grabbed it, but Kobe was not able to keep his feet.
That'll count as a steal for Buffkin. I've been really impressed with him today. Not scoring at the clip we've seen from him this season, but 6 points, 5 assists, 7 rebounds. He's on triple-double watch.
There's some kind of a conversation going on here between a number of the officials. And now back to the monitor they go. What do you think they're looking at here, Kellen?
I'm not really quite sure.
Shot clock? To see if maybe Kobe had possession before the switch. There's 20 seconds on the shot clock right now. We have 9:56 total remaining in this ball game.
We'll see if we get a second look at it here on the video board. Kobe Buffkin caught that in the air and landed in bounds. Just his momentum carried him into the black paint.
So we just got our answer from the public address announcer here at the United Center. They have reset the shot clock to only 9 seconds.
So they're going to
11
say
seconds taken off.
Kobe that he didn't maintain possession.
So here's a pass off the inbound to Amori. Pass is fumbled away by McConnell. And Jet Howard has it for Michigan, running the other way. Doug McDaniel running to his right at the point. Crosses over Simpson. Still has it at the right wing. To Kobe Buffkin in the far corner. Michigan moves from right to left in the second half. Terrace Reed from the elbow. Hands off to Kobe Buffkin. Down low pass to Hunter Dickinson. Up in the air. Terrace Reed brings it down. Ball's on the floor. Lost by Terrace. And it's a jump ball. That's the second time now Terrace Reed's had a shot at a ball and just hasn't been able to grab it. He tried to call timeout, but was not granted the timeout by Courtney Green, the official here on the left side of the floor.
Michigan there. Kobe Buffkin floated up to Dickinson, just couldn't grasp it cleanly there, and again, another loose ball.
So Michigan trailing by 4, 9:20 to go. Cliff Amori at the point, defended by Dickinson. Hands off to Mulcahy at the free throw line. To the right wing, Simpson. Down low pass, Amori threw it out of bounds. Tipped away by Reed, though. So the Scarlet Knights will take over on possession with 11 seconds on the timer.
Great defensive play there by Reed. Able to get around and quickly poke that ball out.
Down low pass immediately for Spencer, and he lays it up and in.
And that's too easy. Can't let somebody get right to the rim like that.
Michigan has no field goals in the last 6 minutes here in Chicago. 6-point spread. Doug McDaniel splits the defense. A free throw line, Jay, he missed it. Doug goes up for it, brings it down, lost it. Rutgers basketball, here comes McConnell. Running the other way, McConnell blocked by Kobe Buffkin. Rutgers still has possession. Michigan just didn't run back on defense, though. Spencer into contact, into the near corner. Top of the key for Mulcahy, a three. Off the front of the rim, Michigan recovers and somehow survives that sprint from Rutgers.
And we saw Joey Baker with what looked like a clean block earlier get whistled for a foul. Buffkin, no whistle there. That was clean. Pinned him off the glass.
Kobe Buffkin, a bounce pass to the top of the key for Doug McDaniel. 10 on the timer for Michigan. They are taking a long, long time to get into their offense. Hunter Dickinson, down low pass. Terrace Reed missed it. Michigan hasn't scored in 6.5. They had 28 points in the first half. They have 11 in the second. Waiting on the under 8 timeout. Rutgers leads by 6. Paul Mulcahy at the top of the key. Draws Dickinson, a mismatch for him. The guard on the center. Michigan playing a two-man defense with Reed and Dickinson. Under 3 on the timer, and an offensive foul being called on Rutgers. So we have hit the under 8 timeout. Michigan, with very lackadaisical defense, Paul Mulcahy has called for the foul. And just like that, Kellen, we talked last time, and Rutgers had a 5-point lead, and now it's 6.
And Zach, when you look at the box score of this game, neither team is shooting it particularly well. Rutgers 35% from the field, Michigan 36%. Rutgers 27% from three, Michigan 33% from three. Both teams shooting below 70% from the free throw line. But the big difference is Rutgers has 51 field goal attempts compared to Michigan's 36. Michigan with 3 more turnovers than Rutgers, and also getting out-rebounded by the Scarlet Knights as well. Also on the offensive glass, Rutgers with 11 offensive rebounds, Michigan only 5. So that's really the difference in this game. Neither team has been particularly efficient. Rutgers has just gotten way more chances than Michigan. And I don't know if that's coming down to effort, if that's defensive coaching and scheming or what it is. But Michigan needs to either start hitting more shots or start getting more shots. One of the two, because at this rate, Rutgers is going to run away with this one.
And right now, what's really standing out to me is that effort from Kobe Buffkin getting back down the floor. But I also wanted to mention the effort from the other Wolverines. Unfortunately, on the other side of the floor, 2 of them are just kind of walking back down the court.
Your teammate goes up and makes an incredible defensive play to save a fast break layup that he wasn't a part of the turnover of. And Michigan still was scrambling to be able to get back and run around and get a hand up on the shooters as Rutgers tried to swing the ball around the perimeter. Luckily for the Wolverines, Mulcahy wasn't able to knock down the top of the key 3. But that's inexcusable effort.
So the lead is 45-39 for Rutgers. They're shooting the three-point ball 4 of 15. Michigan is shooting at 4 of 12. Field goal percentage, Michigan at 36, Rutgers at 35. But as you mentioned, Kellen, you shoot 51 field goals, and Michigan shoots 36. You don't figure that one team would be in the lead.
You don't need to make a lot more if you're shooting a lot more, or you don't need to shoot a lot better percentage if you're shooting a lot more shots. Rutgers has actually been less efficient than Michigan in almost every category. They've just gotten more chances at it.
And what's going to be really big for Michigan down the stretch is that they will shoot 2 the rest of the way. Michigan has only committed 3 fouls in the second half. No one's in foul trouble at all. Jet has 2, Colby has 2. Spencer and Amori both have 3 for Rutgers. Trailing by 6, we resume play. Hunter Dickinson on the inbound. Full court press from Rutgers. Kobe Buffkin dribbles up court, looking for somewhere to distribute the ball. He finds Dickinson. And now back to the logo for Kobe Buffkin, 20 on the timer with Michigan. 7:30 to play here in Chicago, trailing by 6. Couple of crossover dribbles for Kobe. Finds his way to the top of the key. Terrence Williams the second, fresh off of a check-in. To the right elbow for Dickinson. 5 on the timer. Sundquist defending. McConnell pokes it away from the backside. McConnell driving. McConnell floats it, and he gets it to roll. Largest lead of the day for Rutgers. It's 8:47-39.
One of the best defenders in the conference, McConnell. Dickinson never saw him coming. That's too easy. Michigan with 1 made field goal in the second half.
3 turnovers in the last 3.5. Michigan's 0 for the last 6. Dickinson will not erase that. Cliff Amori blocks it, throws it back inbounds for Sundquist. And this one's getting away from the Wolverines a bit, Kellen.
Need to stop here.
6:40 to play. Michigan not knocking down their shots. Rutgers playing determined right now. They want their shot at the 1 seed Purdue tomorrow. Top of the key pass. Spencer for 3. Bang. 50-39. Rutgers leads by 11. A 10-0 run for the Scarlet Knights. Timeout, Juwan Howard and Michigan.
This is it right here. This is what it comes down to. You're down 11, 6:22 left. Your season is on the line. When you come out of this timeout, what's the product on the floor going to be? Because if you're in this situation and you come out and you're slow getting back in transition, that's I don't know what to say to that.
In the double bonus, has missed a couple of free throws here in the second half. That's had a chance to either tie or cut the lead to a short margin. However, they haven't been able to hit those. So now Michigan, who is shooting just 4 of 12 from behind the arc today, will likely have to turn to the three-point ball a bit here in the final 6:22.
Here it is. It's game time for Michigan. Zach, do you think there's going to be any big substitutions in the lineup? I think you got to switch it up a little bit here. You got to get someone on the floor that can give you some buckets.
Well, Michigan rolls out Dickinson, Buffkin, Williams II, Howard, and Reed. Or excuse me, Doug McDaniel checks in for Terrace Reed. So off the inbound, it's Doug McDaniel who hands to Kobe Buffkin. Michigan running their offense. Rutgers running a 3-2 zone right now. They switch back to a 2-3 now. But Doug McDaniel has it. Williams II drives into the paint. Off the glass. Nope, it's blocked away. An odd angle for us. Sees Amori block it away from Terrence Williams II. That's the second time now in the past 2 games. He's made it low on the right block but gotten swatted. One time by Amori, the other day by Trace Jackson Davis.
Jet Howard was open there right under the basket.
Kobe Buffkin misses a jumper off the inbound. Pass forward ahead. Simpson, and he'll jam it home. $12-0 run for Rutgers here, 52-39. Simpson at 6'3", the freshman from Mount Laurel, New Jersey, flushes it into the corner. Jet Howard from the far side. That one misses, and Rutgers grabs the rebound. This one, in a blink of an eye, Kellen, just got out of hand away from Michigan. This is a lot like the game in Piscataway, just with the opposite happening.
Michigan on a close to 6-minute scoring drought.
Spencer, a pull-up 3 from the top of the key. He misses. McDaniel tears down the rebound. Here comes Michigan. They need points here. Williams II slows it down to Doug McDaniel at the top of the key. Buffkin now left wing. At the left block extended, Hunter Dickinson gets a pass. Amori fouls. That's his 4th. And Hunter Dickinson will go to the line. Michigan, who hasn't scored in 6 minutes and 4 seconds, has a chance to put a number on the board.
Zach, do you know what Michigan's shooting from the field this half? 6.7% from the field in the second half. 1 of 15.
It's not going to win you basketball games. The first from Hunter is in. So it's 52-40. There is still plenty of time left. 5:02 on the clock. Cliff Amori to the bench for Rutgers. Woolfolk in. Cliff has 4. 12-point lead for Rutgers. Hunter's second free throw off the back of the rim and in. The clock reads exactly 5 minutes now. Michigan implores a zone press. And Simpson controls at the half circle at midcourt. Michigan needs some kind of a stop here on defense and a quick bucket. They trail by 11. Simpson with it at the point, defended by McDaniel. Draws a screen from Woolfolk. Pull-up jumper from the free throw line. That's a beautiful shot and in.
And Simpson's really been finding his stride in this second half.
No field goals for Michigan in the last 10.5. Doug McDaniel around a Williams screen at the right wing. Has Williams at the top of the key. Right back to Doug McDaniel, same spot. McDaniel outside, Williams II, pump fakes, drives with his left, off the glass, missed the shot, he'll go to the line. I mean, no field goals in over 10.5 minutes is not going to win you a tournament game.
There's really nothing else to say. That's just an incredible stat. That's surreal. Michigan's gotten a couple of trips to the free throw line, but this second half has just been wild.
Terrence Williams holding the ball in his left hand. Wipes off some sweat on his right and misses the first free throw. He's got 2 points on the day. He's Also got 2 assists to his name. He's got an opportunity to make the lead 12. Rutgers still in front. Second free throw from Williams rattles home. 54-42, Rutgers in front. Michigan still in the full court press. Has not scored in 11 minutes. Deep pass, Woolfolk into the corner. Palmquist just grabs it before going into the Rutgers bench. Now cross-court pass to McConnell. We await the under 4 timeout here in Chicago. Rutgers by 12. This game has certainly gotten away from Michigan. The Scarlet Knights have outscored the Wolverines by 15 in the second half. Simpson, who's been hot, drives with his left, throws up a shot too strong. Rebound from Dickinson. Here comes McDaniel from the right wing. Dribbles with his left to the top of the key. A screen is hedged by Woolfolk. Cross-court pass to Jet Howard in the left wing. Steps back into the corner, knocked out of bounds. Rutgers ball.
And we saw a miraculous late comeback from Wisconsin against Ohio State. They weren't able to get the job done, but if you're Michigan at this point, you need to start firing up some shots from beyond the arc. You got to get quick buckets. I don't know what the recipe is. I'm not on the coaching staff for a reason, but you have to find some way to crack this Rutgers defense, and they tried attacking them with a big lineup. They've tried going small with shooting. Rutgers has been able to adjust to zone. It's been a masterclass from Steve Peichel and his staff this early morning, late morning, early afternoon from the Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
The lead is 12 for Rutgers. It's 54-42. One last surge from Michigan is hopefully in the back pocket for Juwan Howard after what has been a really tough second half for Michigan. They have not been able to knock in field goals. They have not scored in 11 and a half minutes. And they're going to need to put some shots in here late into this ball game, or there is no chance Michigan's making the NCAA tournament.
You need a miraculous comeback to keep those hopes alive. Three minutes and 32 seconds. That's 212 seconds, I believe, if my math is correct, to extend your season.
I'm proud of you for that one, man.
That's that Michigan education.
This is the kind of stuff that you get with commercial-free coverage of sports. You get Kellen Flynn trying to figure out how many seconds are left in a basketball game. So who are you looking to, Kellen? It's a 12-point lead for Rutgers. Michigan needs to make some shots. 12 points, it's a lot.
It is a lot.
You need some threes.
Hunter's been stone cold in the second half. Jet Howard is 2 of 6 from 3. So Jet Howard and Joey Baker are the two names that come to mind when you need points in a hurry, especially from beyond the arc. Jet Howard is the guy that can create his shot the best and get hot. Kobe Buffkin has only 6 shot attempts on the afternoon, and he hasn't been terribly efficient. I like Kobe going to the rim, or you're getting Jet. You're telling Jet to go get his shot on the perimeter.
So we resume play. 3:30 to play in Chicago. Rutgers has the ball, just gets it across half court in time. Okay, he back outside for Spencer. He controls about 10 strides far off the left wing. Navigating the offense without a dribble. Under 10 on the shot clock. Mulcahy, right elbow, dumps down low to Amori, who stuffs it in with right hand over Jet Howard. The lead's back up to 14. Under 3 to play from the United Center in Michigan season is dwindling right in front of our eyes, Kellen. Kobe Buffkin from the right corner to Jet Howard. He pulls a right wing 3, misses. The rebound is to Terrence Williams. Strong board there by Terrence. Back outside to McDaniel. Doug from the left elbow. Long pass. Kobe Buffkin in the corner. Pump fakes. Gets McConnell out of the air. Now throws long pass into the media seating And it goes out of bounds. Paul Mulcahy is rolling on the ground in pain on the baseline.
And I think he jumped up with Bufkin there as Bufkin was along the baseline trying to flip that pass out.
And that's the captain for Rutgers. The athletic training staff is right there with them, as well as
And it
like
appears
Steve Pico went over there.
to be a facial injury, perhaps. He's grabbing his face. Doesn't look like there's any issues with his legs. One of his teammates was kind of tapping him on the ankle.
So as it stands right now, the score is 56-42 Rutgers with 2:32 to play. Kelly, got quick math on that one, buddy?
2:32 to play. That looks like 152 seconds.
Attaboy. Okay, he's been sat up by the staff.
And that would be a big loss if he's unable to go again. We have no idea
He's
what.
up on his feet. He's walking under his own power, but it looks like he's probably just wiping away some, what we assume is blood. He's holding his left eye.
Hopefully it's nothing serious, because assuming Rutgers holds on to this lead, they're going to need him against Purdue tomorrow.
I mean, one thing for me, Cal, and just to describe it to our listeners, because we don't like to see it either, Rutgers, their whole bench was engaged in that huddle. Michigan's bench.
I think the word you could use to
sitting
describe them is sullen or sulken.
It's like the air has just been taken out of this team
Even the coaching staff.
by the Rutgers defense. 56-42, play resumes with Simpson controlling at the logo. 2:22 to play here in Chicago. Michigan season hangs in the balance of these final 2 minutes. They would need something miraculous now. Great defense, though, from Doug McDaniel. Left wing Simpson turns around, fires a pass to Spencer, top of the key. Defended closely by Bufkin, pumps fakes, gets him into the air, fires it up, and he gets a friendly roll. And that's the dagger into the chest of Michigan.
Best defender on him. Still gets a good shot off and fills it up.
Doug McDaniel with it. Long pass, Kobe Bufkin, left wing. He'll queue up a three, and he will miss it. Rebound to McConnell. Man. Here comes Rutgers with Spencer. Michigan, I don't even think they're going to foul.
I mean, you're down 16
And they would also
points.
have to foul 4 more times to get this into free throws. And there's only 90 seconds left. Rutgers by 16. This one's chalked up for Michigan. Around the screen, Spencer pulls up for 3, left wing, missed it. Amori with the rebound. Spins on Dickinson, floats it with the right hand. He missed it, got stuck in between the rim. Here comes Terrence Williams, the second. 68 seconds to go. Kobe Bufkin from the left wing. Does not take the 3. Right wing, Jet Howard. Straight away 3 for Hunter Dickinson. Finds bottom. First Michigan field goal in 13 minutes. Makes it a 13-point game. Timeout Rutgers. Spencer calls it. They only had 2 seconds to get it across. Michigan is now one of their last 13.
That was just the second made field goal of the second half for Michigan. 2 made field goals in 19 minutes and 8.6 seconds of play. In the first half, Michigan made 12 field goals.
Well, it's a little surprising to me, too. I mean, this game, it's a 13-point game. The likelihood of Michigan mounting any kind of comeback is very low at this point. I'm surprised we didn't see more of Joey Baker in the second half.
I really am, too. He hit his first three-point attempt of the afternoon. Did a great job of pump faking, sidestepping, and knocking it down. It's just frustrating to see as someone that's traveled following this team so much this year. I mean, William and I went to New York to Little Caesars Arena. You and I were just in Bloomington last weekend. It's really frustrating to see this is how it is going to end. And of course the NIT will be there, but that's not the
standard of the program.
Exactly.
So for the first time in my collegiate career, and I suppose yours as well, Kellen and William, Michigan will likely not be making the NCAA tournament.
This is one of the programs that's been the most consistent over the past decade or so.
Rutgers on the inbound. McConnell was unable to get it in. There's still 22 on the shot clock, 51.4 seconds remaining in the game, 58-45 Rutgers. Go ahead, Kellen.
Well, this is one of the most consistent programs we've seen in the country over the past decade or so. And we've seen it span 2 different coaching staffs. Michigan, one of the best teams in March in the entire nation over the past decade, and not going to get a shot this year. And then you look at next season, and there's a lot of question marks. Joey Baker's going to be gone. Jet Howard could leave for the NBA. Hunter Dickinson could decide to leave. I think he'll be back, but he could decide to go. And the biggest one of them all, Kobe Buffkin, who played his way this season into being a first-round NBA draft prospect, potentially even a lottery pick. So a lot of question marks for this program.
McConnell, the inbound for Rutgers, gets it in. It's tapped away by Kobe Buffkin. But it will stay with Rutgers, we believe. I think they're going to go to the monitor to take a second look at it. However, man, if you're Kobe, just let that one go. I would let it was a tough play to decide because Rutgers would have been caught with a 10-second violation.
It's a tough call. He's just trying to continue to play hard till the last buzzer, which you can't ask for more than that from a player. And although he wasn't particularly effective putting the ball in the bucket today, still contributing in other areas of the floor. Right. Excellent defensively, 7 rebounds, tied for the team lead, 5 assists.
5.
A steal as well. Been the best perimeter defender all year for Michigan, and then had to be one of their top scorers down the stretch as well. And so he's earned all the attention that he's garnered at the professional level.
And you were talking about it, what the expectation would be for next season. Now, likely we will have postseason basketball. It just won't be at the level that we expected before the season started. So we don't want to completely take that out of the question. However, the team, as it goes next year, it's not the strongest recruiting class. But if they can bring back the core of the guys this year that had the experience and they were able to learn from close losses, they were able to overcome adversity with a couple of wins close late in the season. They took a couple of really good teams into overtime late. You figure they're in a decent position next year to likely be better than what we saw this year.
Absolutely, and especially if you're able to bring all those guys I just mentioned back. Obviously, Baker has no more eligibility, but you're able to bring back Kobe, Doug McDaniel with another year of experience, a full offseason with the team. You get Jalen Llewellyn
good
back.
Competition between Doug McDaniel and Jalen Llewellyn.
So you have more depth at the guard spot. I think you have a really strong base to build off of, but it's hard. Hunter Dickinson's one of the best centers in the country at putting the ball in the hoop.
So it's actually Michigan basketball after review. Kobe Buffkin will have it off the inbound. Under 50 seconds to play. Michigan, they're taking too much time here if they want any chance in a miraculous comeback. Long pass to Dickinson is tapped out. Hunter passes into the corner for Joey Baker. Pump fakes one time, drives with his left hand, finds himself inside the paint. And all of a sudden, Michigan's made their last 2 field goals. But it's likely too late for this team. Trailing now by 11. Michigan, great defense on the inbound pass. McConnell to the far corner, Spencer, and he will be fouled by Jet Howard.
And Michigan still with a number of fouls to give. 30.2 seconds left in this game. They're playing till the final whistle.
.30 seconds to play. McConnell inbounds to Simpson, who slips but is fouled immediately by Kobe Buffkin. 29 seconds to play. Michigan still got 2 to give. Man, if it's anything like the end of the game last night between Ohio State and Wisconsin, we're going to be here for a minute. Foul on Doug McDaniel immediately. And that's the 6th. McConnell will inbound this one. It's tapped up into the air, and Spencer is fouled by Doug McDaniel. So that's now the 7th, and we have some action here on the right side of the floor, where Rutgers will shoot free throws 1 and 1, and it'll be Cam Spencer.
And Rutgers, give credit to the Scarlet Knights. They played a good game of basketball, especially in this second half. They're a defensive basketball team. That's their identity. That's what head coach Steve Peichel has built this team around, and they executed that to almost perfection in the second half.
Spencer
I think you could
splashes the first. It's 59-47.
I think you could very well say they played a perfect defensive game in the second half. And you hold a team to 1 field goal in 19 minutes of play. The Michigan's other 2 coming in the last minute in complete garbage time. I think that qualifies as a perfect defensive half.
And Spencer doesn't even move the net with the second one. 13-point edge for Rutgers. 24 seconds to go. Joey Baker takes a long straightaway 3. He misses, and the rebound is to Rutgers and McConnell, and Michigan will foul. And that'll draw some boos from the entirety of the crowd here in Chicago.
And being the Big Ten tournament, drawing it out like this has to be frustrating for some of these other fans that are waiting for their squads to hit the floor. Got Iowa
and Ohio State coming up next.
Yep.
Cam Spencer will attempt a free throw for Rutgers. It's still 1 and 1. 16 seconds to play. 13-point lead for Rutgers. His first is up and in. I think really the turning point in this game was the followed missed free throw by Derek Simpson. At that point, Michigan allowed it to get away from him. The second one is splashed by Spencer. And Rutgers has their largest lead. It is 15. Doug McDaniel fumbles his dribble, finally gets it back. Kobe Buffkin, a straightaway 3-pointer, splashes it. And Michigan is halfway to 100. 62-50. Timeout on the floor with 8.4 seconds to go here in Chicago. Just from the feeling of being in here, the crowd is nowhere near full in Chicago, and I think that likely has to do with the Indiana teams not playing until tomorrow. Illinois plays later tonight. But Michigan certainly has that villain to them now, don't they? All the way down the floor, Simpson will dribble it out. 2-1. Zeros on the clock. The two teams will meet on the far side of the floor to say job well done, but job better done today by the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. A final score of 62-50. Rutgers takes down Michigan in what was one of the best second half performances by any team that we have seen all year played by the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. They were led today by Cam Spencer, who had 18. Michigan was led by Hunter Dickinson, who did it all for him. He had 24, and it was not nearly enough for the team wearing white on the floor down in front of us. So a 12-point win for Rutgers. They will play tomorrow, same time, against the 1 seed Purdue. And now that begs the question for Michigan. Number 1, are you invited to the National Invitational Tournament because likely your NCAA hopes are now gone? Number 2, do you accept the invitation? And 3, Where do we play next?
Those are all good questions, and we won't know until Selection Sunday when everything shakes out in the end. But I'd imagine that if Michigan basketball is playing more games in the spring of 2023, the next one will be from the Chrysler Center in Ann Arbor, Michigan. But this is obviously not the result that this team was hoping for come mid-March.
It's certainly an odd feeling to have that this team that, as you mentioned earlier, has had a strong hold on the Big Ten, as they were one of the top dogs in the conference for this past decade. And all of a sudden, finished last year in the Big Ten tournament, which resulted in an exit at the same exact time on the same exact day in the Big Ten tournament. And the same exact thing happening this year. However, unlike a season ago, Michigan will likely not have a chance to play extra basketball for a national championship in that sense. However, the final score today, Rutgers 62, Michigan 50. The starters, Will Cheddar did not score. McDaniel had 2. Jet Howard with 6, all coming in the first half. Kobe Buffkin had 9, which is low for the expectation for Colby late in the season. Hunter Dickinson led the way with 24 for Michigan. He also had the team's lead in rebounds with 7. On the flip side, Mulcahy, who was injured in the second half, he had 8. Caleb McConnell, likely the best player for Rutgers, had 4. Cliff Amore had foul trouble today. He had 4 fouls. He scored 6 points. Derek Simpson had 13, as he really lit the Wolverines up in the second half. Cam Spencer scored 18 points for Rutgers. Although Caleb McConnell only had 4 points, he brought down 9 rebounds. Last thoughts from you, Kellen?
Not the year that we hoped for, but this team has some growing to do. You hate to use the term look in the mirror, but I mean, it feels like this team has all the pieces. You have the star player in Hunter Dickinson. You've got the electric wing in Jet Howard. You have a explosive guard in Kobe Buffkin. This team has the pieces. It was just all season, it was about finding a way to get them to fit together, and they just couldn't really get it done.
So Michigan's season is now in the question of what happens next. We will find out on Sunday. Ohio State and Iowa getting set to take the floor, but Michigan drops this game by 12. Rutgers wins 62-50, and the Big Ten tournament hopes for the Wolverines have been demolished by that strong Rutgers defense in the second half of this ball game today. Michigan only scores twice in the second half, 3 times with the late three-pointer by Kobe Buffkin. But other than that,
Zach, I just have one closing thought. We're looking at this bracket here on the screen. Michigan was a point away in overtime, a point away, one made shot away in that Indiana game from not playing at all today and sitting in that 3 seed and awaiting the winner of Maryland and Minnesota. And with the flip of a switch, one thing goes the wrong way. Michigan loses back-to-back overtime games, and they're sitting in the 8 seed, and they draw Rutgers, a really tough squad. It just shows you how tough and close this season is, how many things were just so tight and didn't go the Wolverines' way.
And I'll tell you what, one thing will be remembered about this team, it will likely be a team of what-ifs. And there will be a couple more what-ifs down the stretch if Michigan does play some more postseason basketball. Final score one more time here from the United Center in Chicago. Rutgers 62, Michigan 50. Signing off from my good friend Kellen Flynn. My name's Zach Linfield. Have a great one here from the Central Time Zone over to the Eastern Time Zone, and go Blue.